Pandora's box is about to open wide.
Welcome to another Pandora's box, ladies and gentlemen. Imogen was just telling us about how she has been living almost entirely off of fast food and chocolate.
Yeah, literally.
So what have you had this week?
This week, when are we classing the start of this week?
Technically
Monday.
Sunday isn't it?
So
But I think people.
Should I do it?
That's what I was thinking. Like, to be honest, I want to class it as Monday because I think in your head you're like
Monday,
Sunday's the end
Sunday.
of the weekend, isn't it? And
If
then,
we go in the past week, so from like this time last week.
yeah, sure.
I've had
the last 7 days.
Yeah, I've had 2 McDonald's. This sounds really bad. Oh my god, I've had 2 McDonald's. I've had a KFC and I've had a Nando's. And
It's
I'm
not that
probably
bad.
going to get more in the week.
To be honest, I don't think that's that outrageous, Imogen.
Yeah, but I've started having, since I've gone to college, I've had more takeout than I've ever had, ever.
Yeah, but that's because of the age you are.
Yeah, it's also because it's
And
just my
being
friends
in
are such bad
town, having to
influences.
get
Yeah.
some food.
It's
yeah,
different,
I
isn't it?
remember
Because
those days.
when you're in secondary school, you can't leave to like go into town and get food, so you have food at the canteen, don't you?
Yeah.
But once you like are living that college life, especially because it's around the time people start driving and that, it's so
That's
easy
exactly
to be like,
why. Since
oh,
we started driving.
yeah, like, oh, do you want to just like drive into town and get a Mackey's or get a KFC or whatever it might be, or
the
or
good old days.
I've had more Taco Bell in the past month than I've had in like the whole of my life ever. Like the past year, the whole.
I don't
See,
think I've ever had a
everything.
taco.
I've never
Bell's
never
great.
had a Taco Bell. I don't
I
think
like
that. I think Taco Bell was great.
I have a chicken and cheese quesadilla, but I changed the chicken for beef, and it's so delicious.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so nice. So it's basically a beef and cheese, but it's not on the menu as
beef
that.
and cheese.
It's great.
I don't.
They
Yeah,
got the bottomless drinks as well, so
Really?
which the drinks are already kind of cheap anyway. So
right.
like for what you get is great. It's so filling.
Nice. Yeah, I don't think I'd like Taco Bell purely because I do actually really like Mexican food. And yeah, we make Mexican at home quite a lot with obviously like really nice like fresh ingredients and stuff.
Yeah,
We make our own
homemade
guacamole.
Mexican. Yum.
And I think it's a bit like going from having like a massive gourmet burger in it then to just like having like a cheeseburger.
Rustler's burger.
Like Rustler's burger or like a cheeseburger.
What about
Mackie D's or
jalapeno
something.
sauce? Did you do the jalapeno sauce?
No, we don't do jalapeno
Oh.
sauce. I usually just put Frank's. I just have like
Frank's
Em makes
hot sauce.
amazing homemade guac, and then I'll just just put obviously have like fajita seasoning on the chicken or the steak, and then the guac, and then I put a load of Frank's hot sauce.
Your
on it as
dinners
well.
always sound absolutely amazing whenever you describe them to me.
Just
It
love
sounds
food.
like you're having like gourmet meals every single night, and I'm like, oh, I'm jealous of that.
Well, me and my missus both just love food.
My
But,
brother
like,
tried to
you know what I
put
mean?
carrot. My brother wanted to cook dinner last night and tried to put carrots in our bolognese.
Oh,
And I
that's-
went, don't
mate,
put carrots
come
in
on.
my bolognese.
Mate, it's not.
Maybe
A,
in a,
No,
like,
thank
shepherd's
you.
pie.
yeah, I was gonna say it's not a casserole, mate.
But he
Come
didn't
on.
want to have
Yeah.
like spaghetti, so it was a pasta bolognese.
Right.
And have
Meg's
the
quite
only.
Like that. I like spaghetti, but she always likes like smaller pastas, like
What,
Yeah.
like
the
penne
weird
or
shaped ones, penne
Or
there's this
fusilli?
one,
I like
can't even remember
fusilli.
what it's called. I'd never had it before. It almost looks like a little rose petal or a shell, like
Oh,
it's, like,
shell
curled,
pasta.
and it's not shell like not no. 'cause
Not the
that
common
does look
shell.
exactly like a shell.
Ah.
Like imagine like a I don't know, like a cross between a shell and a rose. Like it's a bit like
Mate.
twirly, and it goes from thin to big, and it's like it's really weird.
I don't know if I've
But,
ever.
we-
I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
You can get it in Tesco's.
Oh.
It's like a Tesco's finest.
It's a
pasta,
Tesco's
but
speciality.
I don't know what the name
It's
of
the
it is, but it
Tesco
looks a bit like
pasta.
a rose petal.
Oh man, yeah, I'll have to look that up because I said I can't think of
Yeah.
that in my
No,
head.
neither.
I quite like fusilli because I
Fusilli's my
like having
favourite.
fusilli
Yeah.
because it like all gets almost like the food gets all like in the ridges and then that's quite satisfying then when you eat
I
it.
like all the multicolour fusilli. I feel
Oh, yeah.
really healthy whenever I have it. But I don't like penne pat. No, was it rigatoni actually?
Penne.
Rigatoni, the one with the big hole in
Penne's like
it.
the little cylinders.
Oh,
like
is
the
it?
little,
It's
do you know what I
penne
mean?
the
Like the little
cylinder.
cylinders which are like a slant and then yeah, I quite like that as well because then the food gets in the hole of the cylinder.
Then rigatoni's
Ah.
just the straight tube, isn't it?
Must be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he had like rigatoni
Campane,
because
yeah.
that's his favourite pasta with this bolognese. But the only thing in the bolognese, apart from like the beef mince, was peppers. I'm pretty sure.
Well, no, not even any sauce.
Well, there was sauce obviously,
course.
but like there was no other things.
Okay,
like, there was
well, I'm
no
glad.
onions, no like mushrooms.
For a second, I thought you meant there wasn't even any
nothing.
sauce, and I was like, "That's
But
really
he wanted
weird."
to put carrots in it, and he got like a bit annoyed at me, and threw like a mini hissy fit when I said I don't want carrots in my bolognese.
Carrots is weird for having bolognese.
Exactly. He went. Well, it's on the ingredients, so I'm gonna put it in. I was like, no, you're not.
You don't know.
No.
I think that's mad.
No, you are not.
What was the name of that rose-shaped pasta, man?
It's like campanella e, so kind of like campanella or
Campanella.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
double L, and I think that's like, I don't know if you actually say double L in like when there is a double
Put it
L
into
in
Google
Italian, isn't it?
Translate.
Campanella.
Can I send things in like a chat in the chat? Can I like?
What? In
No, I don't know
WhatsApp?
if I can.
What, in
No,
WhatsApp?
in Riverside.
Oh, God.
wonder
I didn't know
that'd
there
be
was a
cool.
Riverside chat.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
there's
there
like-
is.
There's like a chat, but I didn't know whether I could.
The more you know.
like, send stuff in there.
I just realised that your name today is Helga. Oh, I think you have to
Yeah.
upgrade, maybe.
Yeah, you can't send like a. I could share. Oh, then this would come up on the This
Oh, there you go.
this
It's getting exciting, everyone. It's
I'm
getting
so
exciting.
excited.
if I share this, can you see that?
At the moment, it's loading. Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Oh
Can
yeah.
you see that shape?
Oh,
called a
that's
campanella.
really weird. I've never seen that
it.
before.
No, I've
It
never
looks
seen
a bit
that.
like a flower petal or something, doesn't it?
That's very
And I-
unique. I wonder. Do you know what it is about that?
It's a
That
combination
Meg
of
likes.
loads.
Do you know what is it
I think
specifically?
it's just like I think it's just because it's like smaller and they're like more little like mouth. Like when you get a bit, it's more like you get a few bits on your fork rather than have to like curl up the spaghetti on your fork or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
It's more just easy to eat it. I suppose like any smaller pasta, but I don't. I quite like that as well, but I don't mind. I like with the spaghetti having to like
I like the
twirl it
Christmas
up.
tree pasta, the ones that look like Christmas trees.
Oh right, yeah.
Or like they have like shapes and stuff. So
Yeah,
like, you
I
can
mean
get,
that's very gimmicky, isn't it? Because that's obviously.
get willy ones.
Oh my lord,
Yeah.
that's very rude, Imogen. It's
I know.
very rude.
Sorry.
Your nan might be listening to this.
my nan's seen them.
Your nan's the one that bought them.
Yeah.
Your nan's the one that made them. Sorry, Diane.
My
I'm only
nan's the
joking.
maker.
Sorry, Diane. Yeah. Falange.
Falanti.
Fa-
Comitti ragazzi.
Falusso.
Oh god.
Cantiglia.
What a way to start the show. Just talk about all our little our pasta. How do we even get onto pasta? I know that we
We
were
were
talking
talking
about
about
you and
food, and then I said, guess what I had last night? My brother tried to put carrots in the bolognese.
That's
I
fine.
love a bit of pasta. We don't
Yeah.
have pasta as much now,
love
but
pasta.
like it's so banging.
I do
like
love pasta.
I love like
My
making a
favourite
load of
food.
pasta and then just like you know like what you could draining it and then putting it back in with loads of butter and I just mix all the butter in with the pasta and it's like buttery pasta. Ugh.
That does sound
I just like
very
pasta.
decadent.
Pasta's
Yeah.
my favourite food.
Is
Like,
it really?
Yeah. When we were on holiday, everyone used to make a joke, like my family, because we'd be on holiday for like 3 weeks in Lanzarote, and all I did was spaghetti bolognese every single place. I have
Every
like
single day.
I still
That's
do it
so
to be fair.
funny.
I've only just started to add in a couple different foods here and there, but I have like spaghetti every single day, and I rate the different ones. So I have my favorite places spaghetti. I have my top 5, and then I have ones that I'm like they're good, but they're not like on the list. But like
Right.
since I was little, I've been making this rating, so I have the best places for spaghetti that I've been. If you ever
Nice.
need, if
It's
you ever
mad
need to
'cause
know,
there's not like a massive taste to pasta, is there? It's like quite like subtle, but it's for some reason it's really like satisfying.
I think it's because it's like quite versatile in terms of like you can like add whatever flavour you want to it. Do you know what I mean? So you could have like a seafood linguine with like some like pesto and like lots of like lemony flavours. Do you know what I mean? Lots of like lemon and pesto and that and
Soaks up all the flavour.
yeah. But then you could have like a nice cheesy tomatoey bolognese or whatever or. And then you can have like I'm not really like a massive fan of like carbonara.
neither.
Oh, I love it when I
Yeah?
when I have it, but I only have it like I've only had it a few times in restaurants. I've never made it at home, like or never had it at home. But when I've tried it, like in a restaurant, I'm like, oh, that's quite banging. But I like that like I like the
Creamy.
dairiness of it, you know.
You like the
I
creaminess,
don't. It's too like
It's quite full on, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's quite full on.
I make the best bolognese though. Honestly, I
Yeah?
make the best bolognese
Oh.
ever.
You
It's like one of my
reckon?
top ones on my
Challenge
list.
you to a duel.
Challenge you to bolognese, Joe?
I actually love. It's because I love
I think I make
bolognese
quite
so
a good
much that
You
I've
could-
tasted
you-
so many
as well.
different ones that I
Yeah.
like feel like I can perfect it.
If you guys do have
Yeah.
bolognese, Jewel, then you can actually use a piece of spaghetti to have a sword fight with each.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be sick. Wait, we should actually do like a cooking challenge and who can cook the best spaghetti bolognese because it's probably the only thing that I know how to cook.
I like putting a bit of like I put a bit of Marmite in it, or like Bovril and Marmite to get and make it a bit like tangy,
Bovril's
and a bit like
amazing.
salty. But then
Ah,
like I also put a bit of like maple syrup in it as well.
Oh,
just
you
like a
naughty
little
boy,
bit.
Drew. You
And
naughty
it
boy.
gives it a little bit of like a sweet like edge as well.
he's
and I
like
think
Buddy
that's
the
quite
Elf.
nice.
Mate, that is crazy. Putting maple syrup in
He's
your
literally Buddy
frickin'
the Elf.
pasta.
Just a bit, just you don't really notice with all the other flavours and the mushrooms and like everything else that you put in there and tomatoes and that. It just takes a bit of the tang off the tomatoes and adds a bit of sweetness. Because sometimes it's a bit too tangy for me with just all that tomato in. I'm a bit like,
Mate,
yeah,
I think
like
Ruben
it's
wants a
nice,
bit. I think Ruben wants some.
He's
I just suddenly heard in the background
hungry.
you're talking about. I just said he heard you.
He's getting real more vocal now. You'll probably hear him. Yeah.
Mate, that's really nice. Mate, well, if he wants to have a cameo, then bring him in and just quickly get him to say hello, because that'd be cool. I haven't seen him in a while. But yeah, no, it's up to you.
I'll grab him in a minute.
Yeah, it's up to you. It's up to you, of course. But,
Do you actually
I never
get
thought
him?
about
yeah,
putting,
go get him, man.
I
Go get
never
him.
thought about putting Marmite into like a bolognese.
I do put. I always if I ever make a stew, I always put Marmite or Bovril in the stew because it's super nutrient dense, and I just love that sort of flavour. I know it's
Yeah.
not for everyone. Obviously, Marmite. There's that whole saying, isn't it? Like, I'm
Yeah.
like Marmite. People either love me or they hate me.
Yeah.
But
Say hello, look.
hey, look, hello, mate.
Oh.
Hello, mate.
Oh.
Hello, bud. You alright?
Microphone.
Say hello.
You say
Hello.
hiya into it.
Can you
You
say?
won't be able to hear, but I'll be able to.
Oh, yeah.
You say hiya.
Hello. Oh,
That's his way of saying hello. He's almost got it.
Hello.
good man.
Look, can you
Good
see him,
man.
Ruben?
Oh, bless you, lad.
Oh.
Bless you, lad. Bless you, lad.
Just that waving's just like started like recently. And,
Yeah.
little words. Can you say duck?
Oh.
Oh, yay!
Can you say hiya?
Oh, good boy. Good boy.
Oh, you get right in the microphone
For-
as well, don't you?
For people that are just listening.
He's a natural.
Yeah, for people that are just listening on the radio, yeah. So Drew's little baby son is having a little chat on the mic. It's nice to see him, man, because I haven't seen him in. Do you know what I mean? I haven't like seen even like a picture of him. I don't think in like months, and he's looking like a lot. Like his hair looks like proper human hair now. Do you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like it's not that baby hair. It's like he's got like a little Beatles haircut or something.
Oh.
I always think he looks like Noel Gallagher. He's got like some sideburns going on and that. Like
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Oasis, Beatles, not too far off. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, that's it.
Both
Yeah,
from
got
similar
that.
area of England, and obviously I think a lot of people compared the Oasis actually to the Beatles, didn't they? But it's really funny how he's one of those kids. You know, like some people will look just like their dad, or some people just look like their mum, but he's like one of those kids that looks like a full-on 50-50. Like his hair's a lot
I
thicker.
can't see me and him much.
Do you not reckon?
I was questioning it.
Oh, mate, you were like, mate, who's the postman? Like,
Oh, should we show him it, Ruben?
Oh, I feel like his eyes, from what I can see, look so much like Drew's.
yeah, his eyes
Yeah,
are definitely like
He's
Drew's.
got big brown eyes.
And it's like,
yeah.
and it's like his hair is darker than Meg's, but brighter than yours, which makes sense because
Yeah.
Meg's obviously blonde and you're sort of like dark auburn. And
yeah.
also, yeah, it's like his hair's a bit wavier and thicker than Meg's, but that's
ASMR.
yeah. Yeah, his hair's like a bit thicker and wavier than Meg's, but not as
Say
like
hello.
dense as yours.
Oh no! Don't eat it. Can you say hiya?
Oh, bless you, lad. Bless you, lad. Yeah, it's really nice.
I'll let you go back in now. You say bye bye then. Say bye bye. Bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, it's good. He doesn't usually do stuff when he's telling you, but he behaved then. He actually.
Yeah, he's in the mood for it. He's
He
in
had
the
to
mood for it.
be in his best behaviour for your work.
Oh, he plays the guitar as well. Look. You playing the guitar, Ruben? You play the guitar?
Amazing.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, cool. Just
Right,
like
go see mummy then.
Daddy's like, and also he went straight for the Charvel as well. He was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna
Yeah,
shred.
he loves that.
Yeah, sorry for people that are just listening. Yeah, I know this is probably a bit of like a mental episode so far in terms of what we're doing, but just had a little catch up with Drew's son, Rubes, and yeah, he was just sort of like playing a little bit of guitar on the way out of the room there, and yeah, he was waving at us, and as I'm sure you could hear, he was goo-gooing at us and saying hello and that. Mate, that's really nice to see that development, man. Like, see it. It's like,
Was it picking it up in the microphone? Because I
Yeah.
can't actually hear my voice in it, but
Yeah,
it's a setting I've got. But yeah,
yeah, no, I could
Yeah.
I could hear him. Yeah, I could see him go,
Ah.
hey,
He's so cute.
and stuff. Yeah, mate, proper nice little lad. Mate, I'm looking forward to the next time I see him in person and that. It'd be real nice to see him, and like, because obviously the last time I saw him in person, like, do you know what I mean? He was still at that
was
stage.
tiny, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's still at that stage where basically they're just like a little lump. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Just a blob.
well, yeah, they kind of are, man, aren't they? Like for the first little bit, like you can't communicate with them yet, and they're not like they are looking at you and registering a bit, but not like loads. So it's really nice when they get to the age right now, and you can actually start having
I
a bit
like
of.
it so much more. Like people were saying that, oh, when they start running about, you really got to watch them and that. But I'm like really enjoying it so much more. Where there's like more interaction. He started saying little words. He's running around, and like we go on walks and you put him down and he's just exploring and picking up sticks and stuff. And like I find it way more like interactive, interesting and stuff than when they're just like just little baby and can't really do much. And it's like you've just always got to hold them. And like I found that quite annoying, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I say
That's so real.
well, I know, but it's just like it is obviously hard work, isn't it? And it's like it's
so
nice.
full on.
It's nice when you can actually have a bit more of like I guess like what you would expect, like like in a normal like human relationship is sort of like give and take, isn't it? There's always like sort of call and response, if you like, whatever you want to call it. But then obviously with a baby, it's like call, but no response. But then they're going to poo themselves, so you're going to have to clean it up. Do you know what I mean?
I would hate doing that. That's the one thing I don't think I'll be able to
6 or 7
do.
times a day.
Yeah. And also it's like
Why do they poo so much? 6 or 7 times a day?
liquid diet,
when they're
innit?
really little.
Liquid diet.
Can I get you guys
Now-
to go 6, 7 and like go like this with your hands?
No, you cannot.
Oh,
I refuse.
But like Ruben's at the stage now, where literally he isn't out of nappies yet, but he'll do a poo and he'll run over to where his nappies they are, like grab a nappy and bring it over and lie down. So
Mate, that is
he knows
yeah.
that
Oh,
and
mate,
it's just funny these little things they
Yeah.
pick up, and he'll just do that.
Mate, it's so funny because I remember Evie being at that sort of stage where she just do funny stuff like that, and yeah, it's nice, man, because
Like
obviously
little quirks.
yeah, and just like they know that you need to do their bum for them and stuff like that, but it's
Yeah.
almost just quite funny, so they won't just
When
Like-
I was potty training, I used to tell my mum when we go to like a public toilet, because obviously she like sort me out. I'd then say I now my turn to what like to wipe your bum.
Oh,
And
nice.
she's like, no, Imogen,
That's-
no.
That's not how it works.
Yeah,
Right
she's
now.
like, no, I
Make
can do
one
my own
hold.
one, thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it's funny, isn't
He's doing this thing now as well. Like in the morning, whenever like I make his milk in the morning, just in a saucepan, just like warm it up in a saucepan, and like you're testing the temperature. Like
Yeah.
I'll just put my finger in, and I'll go, just like lick the milk off. But now every time, like, because I usually am holding him when I'm sorting his milk out, because he likes like watching and stuff. And like before I've even done it, I was just sitting there, and he'll just go. And just start doing that, like almost like copying me. Like he knows that I put my finger in my mouth and do that. Like
Right.
he probably thinks, why is he doing it? But
Yeah.
he'll just like randomly like put his finger in his mouth and do a little popping thing. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. They're always watching, aren't
He's
they? And they like just try and copy you.
Yeah, he's trying to do that. He's trying to do that,
He's
old
got that in
chestnut.
early.
I still can't do that. So I'd be really jealous if he could do it before me. He just knows how to do the pop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can't.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to teach Evie how to do it because she like thinks it's really cool. She's getting there actually. She started making like little like rudimentary sounds trying to do it, but it's just little things. Basically, you just have to make like a hook with your finger, and then do the opposite side of your face to the hands that you're using. So if I'm using my right hand, left cheek. That's where Evie was going wrong. She was trying to hook.
I was trying to do it like that as
She
well.
was trying to hook the same, and I was like, no. So like make a hook, and then you sort of need to like make like you need to make sure it's you're not like sucking on your finger super hard, but there needs to be like no like gap for air to come in and out.
Gap.
And that's when you can just sort of just literally just and don't move your elbow. It's all in the wrist.
Oh, we'll do that.
Oh, I did it kind of.
You guys getting that? I love how I've just started us randomly a little masterclass in how to do a little pop sound.
I wonder how many people who are watching the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. Just like trying to do
at the
it.
same time. Tell us if you can.
Yeah.
Pop that.
But it's nice. It's
Oh, I got some sound.
Yeah,
I was just getting it.
you're doing it.
I was doing it on the same hand, like Evie did.
I was
That's why I
doing it on
can't
the
do
same
it.
Yeah. I think every now and again you'll get a really good one, and then you're like, oh yeah.
It's great.
You're like, oh, that's scratching the itch. I didn't even
I'm
know I
gonna be
had.
so annoying now.
Do you like blow any air in your cheek at the same time, or
no.
do you no?
No, if anything, you do the opposite.
No.
You're creating like a little vacuum. The more of a vacuum you make, the more it'll. Yeah, so almost like, man, it sounds a bit of a weird thing to say. Almost like suck on your finger, like just ever so slightly. But it's not so much suck on your finger. It's more just like making a vacuum. So it's like, and then you can get like a real good sound on the go.
Oh,
I just sucked my finger. I just
sucked my
I didn't even like pop it. I didn't even like pop it. I just sat there and just sucked my finger. Oh, that's
Oh man,
that's so weird.
that's
I'm not doing it
hilarious.
anymore.
Yeah. Getting back to literally what we were saying. Actually, no. Yeah, what we were saying about like babies a minute ago, though. Like, yeah, I think that first sort of year is like, in my opinion, it's weird, isn't it? Because obviously, yeah, you do get all that like mad love of like, oh yeah, I've got a baby, but it is like, I think it is like the hardest because also there's no, like as you said now, even though he's not, he's not like fluent in English literature yet, but at the same time, he can communicate, he can sort of like get past you a nappy and then it's like, oh, okay, I know what needs doing here. But it's like the guesswork as well, isn't it? Like, obviously, yeah, there's only so many things it could be, but sometimes your baby's crying and you're like, are they hungry? Do they need a nappy changed? Oh, but they haven't done a poo. And then you're like, oh, are they a bit under the weather? Like, if they are, then what the hell? Like, I'm having to like diagnose here what's wrong with them. Through like process of elimination or whatever, and it's just it is quite hard.
Getting it a little bit more like now, like even like he's like not talking properly, but like we'll say that he understands a lot more of what you're saying to him. He can't speak back, but you'll ask him questions, and then he'll answer just by doing something. Like you say if he's crying and he's like, and it looks like he's moaning. You're like, oh, you got a toothy peg coming through, and he'll go like that, you know what I mean? And he'll touch his mouth, and it's like, okay, we'll give you some medicine. He's like he doesn't say yes. He goes at everything. You go, you right, Ruben? Do you like the birds?
I love how Neanderthal that is. I love how Neanderthal is just.
And I was like, but can you say yes, Ruben? And he goes, and we're like, can you say no? And he goes, no. And I'm like, can you say yes? And he goes.
That's well funny.
Yes, but he'll go, his yes is,
So do you think that he just physically can't say yes, or he doesn't want to say yes?
It's like he doesn't want to. It's like he refuses to. But if you say, do you like the birdies? He'll go, I was like, do you like your car seat? But he
being
won't say
caveman.
yes,
To be fair, I think as a human, this like you understand though, don't you? Like, it's like a yes. It's like an acknowledgement. Like, and for some reason, it's like a no.
It's like a It's
Or
like a
no.
and a
He said he'll say no sometimes. Like I go no, but like he'll shake his head. He knows that his head shaking means no.
Yeah.
So like, do you want some more food? And he goes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, it's funny, but we can't get him to say that yes yet.
Oh man, it's really nice though, isn't it? Like hearing those sort of like those little words like coming on. So what words can he say as of yet? Like what are the words that he said?
He can say dada, mama, duck. Duck was his first word.
Do you know what's so funny? Evie's first word was birdie.
Really?
What is it about winged animals?
Oh, he absolutely loves ducks. He's obsessed with ducks. He loves birds.
Oh,
as well,
I'll have to show him my duck impression.
It's nice that you guys can remember.
Yeah.
Like I know that your kid's first word wasn't that long ago,
Mm.
but like it's nice that you can remember it. My mum just goes, I don't know, probably like mama or something like that.
Is that what she
like,
said?
oh, okay.
Does she genuinely not remember?
Well, you should see my baby book. My brother's baby books, they've got many, and then there's mine. They filled out the first page, and it's literally the day I was born. That's it.
Third child syndrome.
She's
the youngest of three.
It gets to that stage, I can imagine.
Is that what
Mine's
Sav was like as well? Was Sav basically like, oh, Sav?
Mine's all on Facebook at least, because that was when my mum got Facebook when I was born. So at least it's like,
of course,
it's all on Facebook.
Because you were born 2007, so you came out the same
my
time
mum's
as Facebook
first
did.
post on Facebook is literally me when
Is
I was
it?
born. Yeah,
Oh,
like a week
wow.
after I was born.
No
So,
way. That's crazy.
I suppose I got it
So
there
it's
at
all
least.
just there.
Yeah.
Like it's just a digital baby book.
Yeah, but that's not as
Digital
fun,
imaging.
is it?
No,
It's
isn't.
like not
for
nostalgic.
Ruben's first year, like on his first birthday, like we got bought like a book with all black pages in and just printed off loads of things and tried to do his whole first year, but just like in this book just sticking like loads of photos.
Yeah.
And that was like really nice. And yeah, there is something that's a bit different about having the physical, like, and we get it out every now and again and be like, look, Ruben, he loves looking at like pictures of himself and that as well, or videos, or if we've taken a video on the phone, we'll go, look, Ruben, this is you, and he's doing something real funny, and he like laughs loads. He's like
Oh yeah.
at him, whatever he's doing on the video, he loves like watching them and that, which is quite funny. Or like we'll show him a picture, and we've got this picture of like me, Meg, and like and Rupert, and we took it in the same place like a year on, so one with him in the photo next to this tree, and like one with him without him in the photo, but it's like Meg holding her belly, like showing that she's pregnant. And like we say, where's mummy? And he points at mummy and say, where's daddy? He points at daddy and go, where's Ruben? And he points at like Meg's belly, like, because we've said that and it's just like just stuff like that. It's like
That's really sweet,
so
man.
cute.
That's really nice.
I hope that one day when I'm older and I've got kids, I can do like something like that, like a year of their life in like a picture book, each year for their birthday. Like, so they can have one per birthday, and it's like an expected gift. You're going to get like a gift of that, because I feel like picture books are so much nicer than just having it on your phone.
Yeah.
Something like physical.
For sure.
I've got these like metallic pens as well, because it's like black paper to do little like pictures or write little notes on it and that as well. But I drew a tree and it just looks like a massive dick. So I had to stick a photo over it. I was like, oh my god! I was trying to draw a tree, and it's like, no, that's just a big cock and balls.
Oh mate, that's well funny. That is well funny. Yeah, get back to what you're saying. They do. So sorry, he can say duck. And what did you say?
He can say duck. He can say duck. No. Dada, mama. Hiya, hello. He tries to say hello. It's like kind of like hala.
Right.
What else? That's a ball. He goes ball. And then when you say whatever, like another word, he just goes like g. He thinks like everything else that he tries to do is just g. So
right.
Like, I'm like say sky, and he goes g. Do you know what I mean? Or you say bottle, and he goes g. So like he thinks that everything else that he can't say is just g.
Right.
Fair enough. I do that too.
But yeah, just like not loads of words, like 5 or 6. I can't think of any. I think yeah. Meg said that the other day she thinks he said love you, like
oh yeah, like she could sort of make it out, but it was like like sort of
yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet, man.
But that's about it, really.
It does.
She hasn't said that to you yet, though.
Developer for that, like.
Sorry, what did you say?
He's I think he might be a little bit of a late developer with talking and stuff. Like, I don't know.
How old is he now?
What is he, like 17 months?
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
I was a late talker.
That's like a year and a bit, isn't it? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So nearly a year and a half. One more month and it's like a year and a half. But I think by the time I was 1, my mum always says that I was like talking quite a bit.
Right, yeah. Every kid has their different strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, I shouldn't worry. My mum said that I was a late talker, and now look at me, I don't shut up. So my mum said literally the second I started, and I never shut up. Right. And she's like, I kind of wish you were a bit like later on with talking, so I could have a bit more time of quiet.
I think as well, like if they're not showing signs of like understanding what you're saying as well, like he if I say go and put, like he gets his nappy when I've done his nappy, I say go and put it in the bin then, and he'll pick it up and literally go over to the bin, open the bin and put his nappy in the bin. Right. And like so you can like, or you'll say go and get Rupert's ball, and he'll like run in the bedroom and find Rupert's ball and come back out with it and stuff. So like he can understand a lot of stuff, so I'm not really worried that he's not talking that much. I think he's just being a bit lazy with it, really. Like I think the important thing is he can understand a lot of words, if you know what I mean. He can understand like things you say to him, or do you want to have your dinner, like go and have your dinner, and he'll like go up to his high chair and just like wait at his high chair and stuff. And
yeah, that's really nice, man. Yeah.
To get picked up.
So how long ago was it that he said his first word? How long ago was it that he said duck?
He's been saying that for quite a while, probably like just after 1, like a few months ago. Like yeah.
I was going to say, usually it's quite quick. Like, once they've said their first word, usually it's almost like a little, do you know what I mean? Like something. Yeah,
and he's really never been very vocal, like, at all as a baby. Like, even, making noises and stuff. Like, some kids, like, we've seen some other babies, like, friends around here and stuff, and they'll be a lot more, like, vocal, like, doing all that. But he was just always, like, quite silent.
Yeah.
And, like, he would always be smiling and stuff, but he wouldn't really say much. So I think it might be just that, But recently he has been getting way more vocal, like not talking but just going like hello, and just do you know what I mean, just like babbling and things. So yeah, I think he's just getting a bit more expressive with it now. But you can do stuff like, like you hold their hands and then like lift him up to your chest. Yeah. And he'll put his legs on me and he'll flip himself backwards and like
that's
do a
well cool,
and
man.
like land on his feet. And I'm like, what? Like, do you know what I mean? He
likes
cool. Doing like stuff.
I used
to
love doing that.
Well, I think we figured out what's going on then. He's just he's already decided.
He's a ninja.
Yeah, I was going to say he's already decided that he's training to be a ninja. You need to be quiet, but also do backflips.
Quick and nimble.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
And he'll like jump off the sofa and that on his feet, and I'm like, mate, you've only just started walking. Like, what are you doing?
I reckon once when he was like when he was just old enough to first actually get like recognition of stuff. I reckon he just saw a ninja somewhere and was like, all right, that's what I'm gonna be. And then he was like, right. And then he was just like, right, less talky, more flippy.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick.
I reckon that's what happened. Yeah.
He likes guitar music as well. Like in the mornings, when I've got him in that, I'll put on like Joe Satriani or something.
Oh, nice.
Some, like quite rocky, like solo.
Just look behind and he's air guitaring.
Mate, he headbangs. He does this.
Oh,
He doesn't
love
normally
that,
do it to
mate.
music.
I
But
love
if I
that.
put something a bit more rocky or something, he just starts doing this.
It's just
And
you
I
as a
always,
little kid.
pick him up and give him a bit of a dance. And as soon as I put music on, he just wants me to pick him up and I'm like dancing with him and stuff. You know, he loves that.
Oh,
as
mate,
well.
that's lovely. Mate, that's so nice.
That's so
nice.
cute. I can't wait to have kids. Oh,
Yeah.
I love children. That sounds really creepy, but like.
No, it's not. I don't think it doesn't sound
No,
creepy
it's-
coming from you. Like, I think no, they are. It is lovely. It's absolutely
Yeah.
lovely. They're like so pure
Yeah,
and just
it's a
innocent.
wonderful experience.
Yeah, it's like it is the best thing ever, man. Just
My cousin
And
just had a
this thing
baby. I
as
can't wait to
well-
meet her.
oh yeah,
Yeah, she's gonna be so small.
Yeah, just that like is you getting used to like not having as much of your own time in that, like when you first have a baby. But then I'm kind of over that stage now, and you just fully embrace like being a little family.
Yeah, yeah.
And that just that makes it so much easier as well. Like you think, oh, I've got this baby around all the time. Would that be like quite hard? That is there's this constant care and stuff. But you just get used to it, and it's just another. It's like having a pet or something. It's not.
Yeah,
having a
yeah,
pet,
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
yeah.
How you get used to like the responsibilities of what you have to do with a pet. It's like that with a baby, and I don't feel like at first I was a bit more like, oh, you know, it's really hard not being able to just do my own thing all the time still, because you're so used to that. But then it gets to the stage where it's like it's just not like that at all now, and I'm enjoying that a lot more now, because it's just like you can really just embrace it, and like and it's just.
I think I went through the same thing. Like at first, that maybe there's a bit of you like, you know, not like you're resisting it, but maybe there's an idea in your head that
it's
like
just change, isn't it?
yeah, you don't like that
from
it's
what you used to.
because it is going to obviously change your life like massively, and you're like, am I going to have the time to do this and do that? But then I think like you look back on it and you're like, actually, how important was the stuff I was doing before? Like, do you know what I mean? Like those like almost like the little things. Do you know what I mean?
More
Those
like
little
habit,
things.
isn't it? Of like, it was a habit that I did all that stuff, and then letting go of it was a bit hard at first for me, and it was a bit like, oh, I just need more of my own time to like do bits and bobs. But that's kind of gone now, and I'm just fully embraced like the role of just like the family role, and it makes it like way more enjoyable. And like you say, you don't miss it as much. It's just a new. But I think it's hard to change your life completely and just do it straight away without a bit of like a. You know, we've got to gradually change stuff. I feel like too big change suddenly is a bit mental at first, isn't it? But like, we're adaptive creatures.
Yeah, oh, for sure, man. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's kind of what we've all been talking about, but like, what, if any, do you think are the ways that you've changed, like, since you have become a dad? Like, I mean, not even necessarily in terms of like your lifestyle. It can be if your lifestyle, but like in terms of like, has it like changed your outlook on the world at all, or like your views on stuff, like anything like that? Would you say, or?
I think it's made me less worried than I was. I mean, about, you know, like your own life progression and stuff like that. Like, I used to think about that a lot and like almost overthink it and be like, you know, what am I doing with my life? Like what like, you know, what are my goals and all this stuff, which is stuff you think about when you're younger anyway, I think. But I always was in this mindset of like, I won't have a kid until I know until I feel like I'm at the stage in my life where I've got everything sorted.
Your ducks in a row.
Respect. Yeah. But like now having a baby, because it was like a shock when Meg got pregnant, and that it wasn't like it wasn't one of those planned things. Where,
Yeah,
like, I'm
it was a
having
happy
baby now.
accident.
It was just, it was a happy accident, and I wasn't at that stage in my life where I thought I would have a kid. But now I've had one, I'm less worried about all those things I was worried about. Like I know that like my role now, or like my goal or my direction or whatever is like the family is a part of that, and it's a really beautiful, important part of that. That is like, it's almost give me purpose. Then I was looking for purpose before.
Yes.
But it's like now I have it automatically, and that's a really like almost freeing feeling.
Yeah.
It's like I haven't got to worry so much about all this like stuff in life that I was worried about. I've just got to be a good dad and like, you know, like, you know, show up like in ways that I can. And I think
that is wealth.
I think that's how. Yeah.
That is wealth.
And it's like, and it's stuff that
That's so
you know, in
poetic.
your head it would be harder. you know, like even like cooking or doing stuff that like that, like I feel that is you could see that as a task, but now it's a more purposeful task, and it's like I think it's making me a better person, you know, to just like accept those responsibilities and enjoy them more.
Yeah, completely, man.
Yeah, so there's that element of like which has been like really good. Yeah, I don't know really. That's the only thing off the top of my head.
Yeah, but you say that's the only thing. I think that's like it is like such a powerful and visceral thing, though, isn't it? And I think that's one thing people are guilty of, like a lot, aren't they? Is almost like thinking like, I'm going to wait until this point in my life, or I'm going to wait until I've achieved this amount of things, or whatever it is. And I think that's really counterproductive. I think at the end of the day, like, I think that, we are animals on this planet. You never know when your last day is going to be, memento mori. We were talking about a few weeks ago Latin phrases and all that stuff, like all men must die. You never know when you're going to die. Say not in a negative way, but it's kind of like that. There is no time like the present thing. And I think that, while fair enough. If you're the sort of person that like just never wants to have kids, then obviously that's completely up to the individual, isn't it? But I think there is absolutely like nothing as fulfilling in life as like having a family. And I think that when you do, as you said, Drew, it makes you feel so fulfilled and almost just like, as I said, that is your purpose. So rather than thinking like, what am I going to do with my life? Like what I'm going to do with my life is have a family. You know what I mean? Like that's the important thing. Like, and like that's almost like, that is like your legacy. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't need to have this like mental, leave behind this mental whatever, like legacy in terms of like, I think the way that people traditionally think of a legacy, like your familial legacy, so to speak, like that is the ultimate legacy. And if you think about it, without our parents having us, without our grandparents having them, without the great grandparents having them, all the way back to the dawn of time, none of us would be here anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like we are the sort of like, we are the legacy of whoever was like
our forefathers.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that is so powerful. And we don't even need to know.
Legacy of love.
We don't need to like know their names. That's not even really what's important. What's important is that like we are here and that we're carrying it on. That's what I think, because we are made up of our ancestors anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like, in a way, we're like a part of them anyway. And when you think of it like that,
that's so deep.
Man, it is deep, isn't it? But it's true.
I love it when you get like all inspirational like this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know what I've like realised as well? Like I feel like when I was in that mindset before, I had a lot of bad luck, and it was almost the wrong mindset for me to be in to be successful in life. Like, but now when I've had a baby and like committed, like because when you have a family as well, you got to choose to go all in or just not be a very good dad.
Of course,
basically.
Yeah.
That's like the two options that I feel
definitely.
there is. So I was obviously like, I'm gonna go all in with it, and I feel like by doing that, like my luck's almost changed as well. Like work wise, like opportunities have like happened that weren't there before. Like the guitar and that, like I've got this unit now, and it feels like I've got balance in different areas of my life, even though like on paper I have less time. Like it feels like I've been injected with a bit of good luck, like going on this journey, and that's quite interesting as well. You wouldn't think that like it's that whole thing of purpose, and that it's like when it's giving you this instant purpose just automatically, that's rubbing off on different areas of your life almost, or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I can pretty good.
Man, yeah, no, I completely agree, man. I completely agree. It is. I think it's the best gift you could ever have, and I think you really need to sort of take that and run with it, don't you? And sort of make the most of that. I think it's really.
And I remember.
Now go on, man.
Sorry, I just like I remember as well, like because I was worried, like just before like we had the baby and stuff, like I was still in that mindset of like, oh, I'm not ready to like, what if I can't provide in the way that I need to and stuff as a dad and all that stuff, and like Meg like just said to me like, all you need to do is. Like all Ruben will really want is your like your time, your attention, and your love. If you can give him those things, like we're gonna be all right. And she said that to me, and I was like, okay, do you know what I mean? And
I can
put
do
my
that.
mind at ease
I can
a
do
little
that.
bit with yeah. And then the other stuff, like the money and like the all that stuff, almost comes with it as well. You know, you're gonna do all that. So, yeah, that was good.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, man. I think it's really interesting, Imogen, that like you're only 18 years old and you're already like really sort of into the idea of having a family.
Yeah, I mean, I always have. I used to love playing with my dolls, and I'd like fully just, that would be mainly my toys I play with all the time. I had a whole setup of like a house in my room, and even when I wasn't playing with my dolls, I'd like still like put them to bed, and I'd like, it would be like they wake up when I next play with them, and like I've always just wanted to be like a mum. I feel like that's like such a big thing. Yeah, I'm so like naturally maternal. Every single time like there's a gathering and there's a child there, like they always like come to hang out with me. It's not like I'm like, no, I don't want to like go away or whatever. I'm always with them. Like I was hanging out with my friend once and she invited me out of her family. One of her family had like a little kid and they came up to me and I spent the whole time with them and my friend obviously. But like I just love it. I can't wait to be a mum.
Yeah,
I'd be like so upset if I couldn't be a mum. Like honestly, I just love it. I don't like the thought of actually having the kid, but after it's like there, we'll be chill. Yeah, I can't wait. I used to play with dolls until I was quite old because obviously when I left primary school, I basically went straight into lockdown. I like a couple months in year 7 when I wasn't playing with anything, and then I had lockdown, and it was either play on my PlayStation all the time, sit bored, or actually play with the toys that I still have. So I was like, why not do that? Because I hadn't quite redone my room yet. So my room was being redone. So all of my toys that were in my room were just downstairs. So I was like, oh, why not play with them? So I was playing with like my dolls until the end of lockdown because I had nothing else to do. It was I was literally either doing Fortnite or playing with dolls.
Fair enough.
I feel like because I did it till quite a late age, because most people were done playing with toys by then. Obviously by the time lockdown ended I was like 13 and I was still playing with my dolls and I just always wanted to be a mum. It's just because I like the fact of like, oh, a little baby.
I think it's nice, and I think it kind of gives me hope in a way a bit as well, because I know we've talked about it on the pod before, but like there are like so many people mine and Drew's age that just aren't having kids.
There's those people my age that don't want kids. I know a lot of people that don't want to have kids. Yeah. And I think a lot of it is just because they don't want to put themselves through the actual like birth process, which is like fair enough, because that terrifies me as well. Yeah. Like it would anyone. It's a scary thought having to like carry a human then give birth to it, and then like afterwards you're still not fully recovered, you know. But like I just think what will happen. Obviously if it does happen, it means the universe thinks that you're ready for it at that point in time. So
I remember hearing a stat, and I can't remember exactly how accurate this is, but it was something like since World War II, there are 25% less people in the West are having kids. If you think about it, that's quite a lot, crazy. Isn't it? 25%, like a whole quarter.
Quarter, yeah.
And I think that's not factoring in as well. Obviously, that's not even factoring into the fact that I think people are having less kids in total as well. Yeah. So I think I think the norm would have been probably 2, 3, 4 kids, maybe 40s, 50s, 60s. Whereas now the norm's like 1, maybe 2. Almost like quite rare nowadays to have 3.
To be fair, I think a lot of it might. Obviously, it's down to like how everything's changed like economically, but like I feel like a lot of people don't want kids, like girls, because the social media is obviously quite big and influencers and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people that don't want to have kids simply because they don't want to ruin their body. And it's like, I mean, I don't know if you can have that mindset, because you can. It's not going to ruin your body. No. Like you can get exactly back to how you were before. Yeah. And have this like little ball of love, you know, like in either way it doesn't matter, because if you have a kid, you're gonna love yourself because this kid and this thing's gonna love you, you know.
Yeah, like, 100%. And also like it's like it's not necessarily gonna ruin your body.
No, it's not. Like you can look at some people, like they've had however many kids. Like it's like Gigi Hadid. She's a supermodel. She's had a kid. I know it's different for her in a way because she's a supermodel, but she's still a woman who's given birth. Yeah. Had all these like different stretch things, got back to how she was before. It's just through work. All she does is work out. That's all you got to do. Yeah,
but like even like my missus' mum, don't get me wrong, I think she is like an outlier, but she's had 4 kids, and she is like the tiniest woman you'll ever meet. Yeah, do you know what I mean? She's like, like I think sometimes she struggles even to fit into size 6 clothes.
Oh my god, that's so small.
Oh, man, literally, she's like 4'11" or 4'10" or something like that, and
Bless
yeah,
her.
she's like sometimes she's like but like and it's what I'm getting at. She's just so small and petite. Do you know what I mean? In every way, in that. Do you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't ever believe in a million years. You'd probably like if you saw her at the beach, you'd probably just assume she was one of those like near 60-year-old ladies that's just never had kids.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of it depends on the individual, doesn't it? Like it depends on the individual, and also it's like, some people as well, because you do, I think, get like you get mad cravings, don't you, when you're pregnant, and some women do go a bit crazy on it.
Honestly, I get them without even being pregnant, let alone when I am pregnant.
So I always think if you're already growing a baby and then you're just like eating like a cheesecake every day and stuff like that, do you know what I mean? Then obviously you're going to be naturally putting on weight as well as growing this baby. So that's when I think like the same way. I mean, I know from like putting on weight and then losing it in the past. Like it's almost like every time you put on weight, it's harder to lose the weight. Do you know what I mean? So it's like do you know what I mean? So if you're already like you're pregnant, so you're obviously your stomach's going to grow anyway. Then when you're adding on all this like if you're getting all these mad cravings and you're eating all this like extra food, like obviously it's really good. Obviously that whole you need to eat for 2 or whatever. But at the same time, you can eat for 2 and not eat like a cheesecake a day as well on top of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think if you are doing that, then that's when it's going to be really hard to then rebound from childbirth, because then not only do you have to like heal in that and everything's getting back to normal in that sense, but then also you've probably got some work to do in the gym sort of thing once you're even like healed and ready to go again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I think that's probably why I can see for some women it's like a very daunting. Yeah, it's probably quite like a daunting thought, but I mean, my missus like when
everyone's body's so different as well. Like when Meg was pregnant and that, like it was hard to get her to put on weight, even though she was eating loads more. And then with the breastfeeding, she lost weight breastfeeding because like you're
burning loads of calories,
all this loads more energy, and like the baby's always having milk and stuff. So she lost about a stone after she was.
That's crazy, isn't it?
God.
And like we had to like really try and put and then as soon as she stopped breastfeeding, like a year later, because he breastfed for like 13 months or something,
right?
And then literally she's put on about a stone again now, like since then.
Yeah, that's
and, like,
amazing.
Yeah, it's because they're like sucking all the
sucking all the life out of
all
you.
the life,
that's what I used to
all
say,
the weight
like,
is all going to them.
Steaks in her and everything, and just like trying to feed her right up.
Yeah,
but
I remember it was exactly the same.
Different, aren't they?
Yeah, I remember it was exactly the same with Em. Like, she like lost a load of weight, and I was like quite concerned about it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, especially if like you are like Em or Meg, like they haven't really got that much meat on their bones anyway.
Yeah,
they're already so slim, and obviously you're like, you does get you get a bit concerned about them. But I remember, like Em sending me stuff and us talking about it at the time, and it was like, saying how many extra calories you burn as a woman just by breastfeeding and that, and it was mad. It's mad.
More than growing the baby, it seems.
Yeah.
She was losing more. It seemed like it was easier to with the weight and just and when she was pregnant, but then the breastfeeding, that's when she started losing more weight, and I'm like, whoa, get you fed up, like yeah.
Oh, it is mad, isn't it? It is mad. Yeah. So but I mean, in terms of say like I don't know, like physique change, because we're Imogen saying, a lot of people, they want to be like an Instagram model or whatever, Drew, and they're like worried about getting back. Like, is Meg like at this stage, is she pretty much just like how she was before?
Like exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was, like, I mean,
that's the one thing I
wouldn't
used
there's
to
not even a stretch
scared
mark or
about
anything.
it.
Like where you think, or more saggy boobs or anything. So, like, it's not anything like that. She seems to have like gone like right back to how she was before. So yeah.
Well, it's what your body's supposed to do. That's just natural.
Em's exactly the same. Honestly, like you wouldn't think it. So I think that's, and the only reason I want to say that as well, and I think because I just want to like say as well. Obviously, we're not saying this because like me and Drew are shallow or whatever, and we're like saying that's like like whatever. What we're trying to do is to say to for any women out there, if you're like worried about having a kid just because of that, like the chances are like it's not going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
I used to be really scared about that because I used to like really struggle about like my body anyway, and I was like, like I really want a kid, but it's just like, what if it's not? Like it's not like that's not going to be the end of the world to me, but I just know that like it would just eat me up.
Yeah.
But like I've got to the point where I'm like, well, if I'm at that stage where I'm having a kid, obviously I'm happy with myself enough to like to do it,
Yeah. I think, to be honest, I think if you're if that's where your headspace is at and that's sort of your priority, you're probably not in the right place to have a kid anyway.
Exactly.
Because I think that, and I'm sure you will 100% agree, Drew, like the sort of like I don't know, like if your priority is like something like that, it's just like how you look, like when you do have like a family and you have like a kid that you love with all your heart and like a missus that you love with all your heart, and there's this nice little family unit, and you know how nice it is sometimes when you wake up in the morning and your kid's in bed with you and you just feel like it's little like nesting badgers, and it feels so wholesome and that, doesn't it? You feel like it's little like it's like it might as well be like Wind in the Willows or something, or and it's like
I actually can't wait to have kids.
Little House on the Prairie, and it feels like you feel so like complete and so happy that like how you might look on social media is like so insignificant.
It's not even a thought.
No, it's like screw that. Like, do you know what I mean?
I can't wait to have a kid.
Yeah.
It just makes me like, oh.
We're like pumping you up.
Yeah, you are.
Announcement coming soon.
I think it's
No, my parents would kill me.
You're only 18. Wait a while.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's made me think that, you know, like you're saying about like people having kids less nowadays and that it is like that's one of the reasons, like the body consciousness and everything. But like there must have just been like changes in what's the word I had this in point in my head that I was gonna bring up, and now I forgot the word. But do you know what I mean? Like not changes in culture, but like kind of like changes in culture, just like changes in values of like of what family values were, say in like 1950, 1960, grandparents and things like that, to modern technology, like the way it's all changed, like and everything, and values have just massively changed in people, it seems, and it's a bit sketchy, really.
Well, I think
losing a bit of humanity, because humanity is having family, and is that's a big part of
the nuclear family. Humanity. Isn't that what they call it? The nuclear family, isn't that what they call it? Basically, it's almost like when you have like like a home with like a mum and a dad that are actually like together, and your kids like with you. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think that's called the nuclear family, isn't it? Cool. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I think that's right. Anyway, I think you're 100% right, Drew, and I think I know for a fact that some women even feel cheated. Some women I've spoken to that I've been friends with for a long time, and I think my missus feels this way as well. Oh, well, I know she does, like to an extent. I think some women feel almost like cheated to an extent by certain aspects, and emphasize certain aspects of the feminist movement that happened back in there, like 50 years ago, whenever it was. And don't get me wrong, of course, women and men should be treated the same in terms of rights. Yeah, in terms of rights. But at the same time, I think there were some downsides to the feminist movement, and while I think that obviously women should, of course, it goes without saying, should have equal rights to men, should be able to do all the same things like legally and whatever as men, I also think that there was obviously there was an encouragement,
like a side effect. Yeah,
there was an encouragement for women, almost like not so much to get married and have kids and stuff, and instead like join the workforce the same way that more men did traditionally. And that's not to say that women have had jobs obviously throughout history, but they're obviously maybe not as much as men. Men maybe worked more. It was more likely for every man to have a job. If you were a woman and you were a housewife and you took pride in that, then that was almost like a very almost like worshipped role, the same way that like almost like a shaman in
itself, isn't it?
Well, exactly. You're running a house.
Work that goes into
exactly.
And
that used to be almost used to be like a venerated role. Do you know what I mean? Like a revered role, and rightfully so. Do you know what I mean? Because what's more important than taking pride in your family?
Keeping like the whole family alive.
Yeah, you're literally like the what's the word I'm looking for? You're
the
literally
life giver.
Yeah, you're like the matriarch. You're the one that's like at the center of everything. Like it's almost like without you, the family crumbles. Like
you're the heart.
You're like, yeah, the man's going out to work, and in some cases might have really brutal jobs and hard jobs and stuff. But it's almost like this understanding where like the man is making that sacrifice to bring in the money so that you can have that house, and everyone's playing their role. But then the woman is taking the pride in running that household, and between
It's
all
like
the
manager of the house.
Yeah, exactly. Between all the cooking and the cleaning and stuff like that is a major work, and that should be respected. That shouldn't be put down, or that shouldn't be something that you're expected to do as well as a 9 to 5, like almost like it's expected of now. Because what happened as a result? It leads to unhappiness, and everyone's overworked, and everyone's stressed, and your house is a tip. But when are you going to get the time to clean it? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not healthy, and that's not good. That's not a good way for society to go. I feel like before.
You're spitting facts.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I feel like before it was way better. Like, like Imogen, I don't think that if you really want to have a family, I don't think on top of that you should have to have a 9 to 5 for the rest of your freaking life.
I agree.
And I don't think that you should be put down as like not a strong woman or not a good enough woman. And if anything, surely that's the opposite of what feminism should be. Do you know what I mean? Like that should be like putting down women because they want to do stuff like that. You should be saying like, that's amazing. Like that's like, this is this like ancient role that we've had since the dawn of time. Like, as you said, Drew, the matriarch, you're the one.
The making of the woman, that's what it's for.
Nothing is more sacred than being able to like give birth to a kid and then provide for the kid, and then essentially and it kind of comes down in a way almost just to like basic decency, and then almost just like respecting the fact that like, maybe like your husband, which I assume you love or at least like because he's the one that you chose to have kids with, is like maybe going out and doing all this work, which he probably, well, not all the time, a lot of the time he probably doesn't want to do, but he's doing it so he can provide for you and the kids. So it's almost like appreciating that as well, and as a result trying to do some nice things for him. It's not about like oppression or about competition or about this. Like, to me that's silly, and it's actually immature, I think.
Yeah, and it's as well like the pressures that we have like now in society, money wise and all that stuff. Like we're going through it at the moment. Like luckily, like we both work from home like most of the time, so like so you can manage it in that. But Meg works 3 days a week again, but and needs to be able for us to have the lifestyle that we're living at the moment, the kind of food we eat. We're not spending like stuff on like loads of crazy things and that. Well, I might be with the guitar stuff, but obviously, that's just what I always do anyway.
But because obviously you care about the organic food or whatever, the healthier food, exactly. It costs more.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
Food's not cheap, man. Especially like good meat and stuff.
Yeah, you want to take care of your body and eat well, and like Meg's like really into that, like more than me.
Yeah.
So for us to be able to do that, she has to work 3 days a week, but it's really hard. Like I know that it's really hard for Meg because she just wants to be with Ruben, and she's like, I shouldn't have to be doing this, and it's like, and then it's like pressure for me because I'm like, I should be bringing in enough money so you don't have to, but like. It's hard to do that, isn't it? It's like it's because I'm not on a bad wage. Do you know what I mean? But like it's now
everything's just so
how
expensive.
Everything is, the rent you got to pay, like all of that stuff. It's mostly just out as soon as it comes in with bills and everything.
Yep.
So it's a bit of a tough situation. So it's almost like a woman can't even do that if she wanted to a lot of the time because you're having to both provide. And I think that's a bit like wrong.
Man, I think it's corrupt. I think
it's a bit weird that like you can give birth, your baby can literally be like not even like still functional, still needs its mum and is still dependent on like its parents, and you have to go back to work.
Yeah,
like, I think that's crazy.
It's like, and you get money for childcare or whatever. Like, I don't know even how much it is, but there's like the government will give you like some money for childcare. But I'd almost be like, give Meg that money, and then she'll do the childcare.
Yes, mate, like, exactly.
Why would I want someone else to look after my kid? So it's like,
and it kind of counterintuitive as well because it's like, all right, so. We pay loads and loads of taxes.
Money for someone else to look after,
and it's very
for us.
Yeah, and it's very counterintuitive because like every adult in this country pays loads of tax, but it's like, okay, so I'm paying all this tax, so you can give me a little bit of money back for childcare, but what if we just didn't do that and then I didn't have to pay as much tax?
Give us that money that you
all that, but
and pay us for
you know what, no, I completely get, but you get what I'm saying though as well, don't you? Like there's like how many things that we're paying tax for actually aren't necessary, like truly necessary, but obviously we have to pay it out so that a lot of people can afford childcare. But rather than that, why don't we just set up schemes, whatever you want to call it, ways of women being able to look after their kids without stressing so much about finances, you know, like, and as I said, I think we had that nice balance back in the day, you know, we had that nice balance. I think, you know, and women still worked back in the 60s, you know, it's like, it's not that women didn't work. Maybe like a lot of women didn't have to so much, but I mean, my one of my grandmothers worked, but that was, I mean, to be fair, that was probably mainly because she left her partner, which was quite taboo to do back in the 60s. So, like, you know, kudos to my grandmother for having the strength to do that, just because, yeah, my biological grandfather wasn't the best man. But, you know, my other grandmother, she was a stay-at-home mum. She was like a housewife. Luckily, my grandfather, rest in peace, God bless his soul, was, they were almost like the quintessential family that we've been talking about. So he was up in a very high up managerial position in his job, in this town that I'm in now. Me and him are in now, and he had a big enough wage that they could have a nice big, 4-bedroom detached house in the nicest area of Bridgewater, with a front garden, back garden, driveway. It's almost like that. You know when you hear about the American dream, even though we're British, it was almost
the
like
British version.
It was like it's like
dream.
it's a Somerset dream, mate. That was. Do you know what I mean? It was like, you know,
a proper Somerset
it's like
dream.
what more could you want? It's a safe place to put your car, a front garden, back garden, 4-bedroom house. You know, like detached. So you know, it's just like that's a nice life. You know, and they could do that off one wage. I think they bought their house back in like 1961 for something like, I can't remember how much it was, but it was something stupid, like it was like just under $3,000 or something, you know. Even with inflation, like that's crazy, you know. That's mad. Yeah, like they could afford to do that, you know. But I think like Em's
back in the day.
Yeah, I think like Em's nan, you know, Stan was always like a farmer and a builder, and I think Em's nan, just because she kind of wanted to, because a bit like you, Imogen, she loved kids, and she kind of wanted something a bit extra to do in the day, so she would work as almost like, I can't remember what they're called. I don't know if technically the term at the time would have been a teaching assistant, but I guess it essentially was. At the her local school, she would just like go down there and she would essentially just like be like one of those like helper ladies.
Oh yeah,
I think
a teaching assistant. Yeah,
I think it kind of was like a teaching assistant. Yeah, it wasn't. She wasn't like a dinner lady or anything like that. It was almost like you just go and help out, you know.
Yeah.
And she would sort of choose to do that. I don't know how many days a week she did it, but you know, you're still contributing in like a way. Do you know what I mean? But it's just not that like, right, you're gonna have to earn, you know, 35+ K a year just to while being a full-time mum, you know, and your partner has to do that as well.
It was more of the lifestyle. It suited her lifestyle more, like that she wanted. She wanted to do a bit of work and like, you know, it wasn't like 100% of a necessity, else they would be like really struggling. My nan says, like, I know my nan, you know, Grandad Tom and Mary, so from my dad's side, she said that she always worked, and she always said it's because I had to, but I think it was more like they loved going on holidays to America and that, and they would always do a lot of stuff like that. So it was like they just, I think maybe
they wanted to be
like,
jet
had
setters.
a bit more. yeah. Like I know my granddad, he had a foreman's job at the power station, so that's kind of like a manager, but not like top director or anything. But he had like a foreman, so he was in charge of a crew of people, little crew of people, and then he also like did like a bit of window cleaning, and also did these some bets or something. He'd go to the pub and it was like this football thing, like, I can't remember what they would, or I can't remember what they would call it, but like there was this thing that, you know, people would put in a little bit like a lottery or something, do you know what I mean? And like he would do that. So
interesting.
He had a few little side hustles going on, as well as a foreman job. And then my nan worked at the dairy, which is now Yo Valley Organic. Like she worked there and would do like the cheese and stuff and that there. So
thing is, that's quite relaxing though.
Hustled a bit.
Like that's quite relaxing. Obviously, like your foreman job, like, you know, I'm sure that was quite full on and quite demanding. But then like something like a little extra bit of revenue, like window cleaning, like really, it's like if you're fit and you're well abled, like it's actually quite relaxing just doing a bit of window. Like it's not really that hard, is it?
But
you
then
like and if you're doing it for some neighbours that are like, I don't know, like elderly neighbours or something that just can't do it themselves, like that's kind of quite satisfying, because you're like, you know that they can't do it, you're doing it for them. And then you're also getting a bit of extra money, and also you're getting like a little bit of fresh air and a little bit of extra sort of exercise, aren't you? It's like, what's you know?
And I think if you got work, if you're like you've got worker in your blood, and you've kind of like, you know, he came from Scotland, like really like like scabby part
working
of Scotland at the
class,
time.
lower working class.
Worked from the age of like 13 at a butcher's, and he's just worked, like went in the Navy, like did all of that, so got all the discipline and everything, but then you know, just worked all his life and like hustled like that. I suppose if it's in your blood like that, you just, if there's the opportunity, you're just going to do it and be like, I'm going to put a bit more on it. Do you know what I mean? It's more like a bit of a mindset or something.
For sure,
like,
man. Yeah, for sure.
The more, it's like, well, I didn't have that as much as like my dad or my granddad. I don't think like that kind of. I had to be really interested in what I spend my time in, like, you know, rather than like work for me has always just been like until older in my life. But like, like you know, working in Asda and like the stuff that you do like when you're younger, that was always like, oh my god, I've got to go in for my shift. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it wasn't. I think
it's pretty natural. Isn't it?
That's why you got to do something like making coffees. It's so like satisfying. When it's not busy, it's really satisfying to make the coffees.
Do you actually really like that? Do you really enjoy it?
I like making coffees. And I like talking.
Well, that's it. Itself. And coffee is amazing. Do you,
it's so fun.
Do you ever drink coffees?
I don't like coffee.
You like? Don't you sometimes have a cold coffee?
I'll have an iced latte.
You have an iced latte sometimes.
But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of like hot coffees. But I like making them. They're really fun to make.
That's something that you and Bullwinkle share. Bullwinkle's never been a fan of coffee either.
I like hot chocolates. I do this thing at work where I call it cold chocolate. It's basically a milkshake, but I use like the hot chocolate stuff.
Right.
And I put ice in a big pint glass. I fill it up with milk. And then I make like a little bit of like really, really strong chocolate, and I use the steamer to mix it all in. And then I pour it in, and it like all seeps in, and it makes a really, really nice milkshake. It's actually delicious. I love it so much.
Awesome.
It's so good. And then you can put like a hazelnut syrup shot in it, and it tastes like a bueno.
Yeah, I can see how it's going up. Like it suddenly sounds like a very you drink all of a sudden. Yeah.
So nice.
I'd love a home like coffee,
like a proper barista setup. Like costs like thousands of pounds.
I want one of those.
Yeah.
I don't drink coffees, but I want one so I can make everyone coffee.
Yeah, you know Becky, Emma's sister. Her boyfriend Tom. To be fair to him, he bought Becky one like for Christmas because she where she works at like a castle in Cornwall.
Yeah.
And she basically works in the kitchen, but I think sometimes she has to make the coffees like as well. It's like it's a bit one of those things like she has a more like defined role, but it is almost like sometimes you're gonna have to chip in and do other stuff as well. That's what I
do with like the kitchen stuff at work as well.
Which I think sounds quite good. So I think most of the time she actually works in the kitchen, actually more like cooking and that, like making all the food for like the people that have gone to the castle to the day and want to eat in the cafe. But sometimes she'll go out the front and make coffees, and she's gotten well into it, and she loves coffee. So yeah, Tom to be fair to him, he bought her like this freaking. It was like thousands of pounds, like, but he bought this proper nice like barista setup, like you'd see like in a proper like a proper.
The problem is, I want one of those because I want to make people coffees, but I know when like my brother or my parents are making themselves their coffees, I'd start getting really annoyed because I have been doing them for like 3.5 years almost, and it's like I can like even hear I can hear when the milk's gonna burn. So it's like if they're doing it and the milk's gonna burn, I'd be like, no, stop, or no, you're not doing it, you got to put more air in, or less air, so you're doing too much.
Sense it
I can see it, I can hear it.
Wow, that's so sensory.
Like if when you're like steaming the milk, the deeper it goes, like the lower pitch, the more it is you're getting close to burning. So when it starts going like, that's when it's like burnt. And if it's burnt, it'll start tasting really bad. It'll like be gross. So you got to stop it right before it starts to like do a really, really low growl. And then when you're looking at it, for a latte and a flat white, it's got to be really silky milk. So you start by putting a little bit of air in it. You got to get it like on an angle so it swirls around. Start by getting a little bit of air. It almost sounds like tearing paper. You do that for about 10 seconds. Then you put it in and you just let it spin round.
Man, this is so sensory. I love how it's
that makes it like silky. Cool, and then for cappuccinos, you literally just, you put the milk, you put the frother in the middle, and you just slowly bring it down. And if it starts to go like too much, you just push it up a bit, and then you keep going like down, and the milk should raise up as you're bringing it down. So it's like,
I love how you've
it's great.
You've like muscle, you know, like the term muscle memory. You've like muscle memorized.
I've been doing them every single Sunday for like the past.
But what I find interesting about that,
I make the best cappuccinos ever.
Right. Well, I mean, you have to make me and Drew one now. We'll have to go into is it Blackmore Farm?
Blackmore Farm.
You work at? Yeah. So Imogen works at Blackmore Farm
on a Sunday
in Canning. Yeah. But we'll have to
I
pop
go
there at some point.
sometimes.
Yeah, whenever you're next down, Drew, and Imogen's working, we'll have to pop there.
I'm always there on a Sunday, so.
Well, I tell you what,
They do some nice breakfasts in there, don't they?
The
like
breakfasts
proper
are
full English,
great.
innit? Like proper nice full English, like black pudding and everything.
It's like butcher meat as well, so it's like the thick bacon, the good ones, yeah. And the black pudding and everything.
Every now and again, like a good full English. It's not something I have very often, but every now and again when I do have one, I'm like sausage, bacon, eggs, black pudding, hash browns. Oh.
They do great cakes as well. I love their cakes.
Did you have one?
First time in ages. Yeah, Meg went to Malvern for the day with Ruben to see her friend, and I got the unit, so I was like, oh cool, drop me up the unit, and I'm just gonna do some guitar-y stuff for the day up there. So she did that, and opposite the unit there's like a greasy spoon cafe, you know, and it's not like one of the real posh nice
bougie
sourdough
ones,
bread ones and that. It wasn't like that. It's just like a you know,
greasy spoon cafe.
Greasy spoon cafe.
You're out, love.
So good as well. Yeah, and it was really nice. The meat quality was still good. It wasn't just like really crap like meat or anything. It was like still felt like good quality, but just more greasy spoony. Yeah. And it was real nice to have that as a treat, you know, just sit there with my cappuccino, have that, and then go in the unit after. And
yeah. Oh man, that's so nice. Yeah, I think it is so good every now and again to have a proper nice full English. Yeah, well, you know, you were talking, weren't we, Drew, about saying like, you know, we'll sort it out that whenever you and Meg are next down, that we can like meet up. And we'll have to sort it out, because I did say, didn't I, about maybe just going for a carvery. But yeah, I don't know. Either we'll go for a coffee at Blackmore, and then we can see Imogen, and Imogen can make us a coffee, and then maybe we can go for a carvery
I'll probably end up
afterwards.
making you breakfast as well, depending on the Sunday.
Walk, and then a carvery. That'd be banging.
Yeah, let's do that.
A whole morning into afternoon.
Yeah, coffee at Blackmore.
You'll know if I'm there because you'll see my little purple Toyota.
Yeah. I'll coffee at Blackmore, and then go for a walk on either the Quantox or Exmoor, and then Carvery afterwards. That is a banging Sunday. That is.
That's a great Sunday.
That's how Carveries should be spent. Sorry, Carveries Sundays should.
That's how
Carveries should be spent. All I'm thinking about in my head is potatoes and Yorkshire puddings.
Good old Carvery though as well.
Oh hell yeah, man! It's got to be done, isn't it? But I think it's really interesting, Imo. Are you've muscle memorised how to make the perfect coffee?
Well, I didn't. I got taught very basic, and I kept on forgetting it.
But so how do you know it tastes good? Do you know what I mean? Without actually tasting it,
I get told. So
you're going
when I first started, when I was 14, I got very brief demonstration, and I just kept forgetting. So I took it out of my own time to learn. So I'd use TikTok, which sounds really stupid, but I'd use people that would teach you how to do it, and I'd just do it how they did, mix with how I was taught, and then find my own way. And by doing that, I'd make ones, I give it to people that work there, and I'd be can you try this, tell me how it tastes. I get my family to come, I get them to taste it, I get customers to do it, and over time people started going, that was a really great coffee, I really enjoyed that. And I was so I'm learning how to do it, and now that I've learned how to make a good one, which they're not always the best, because you have sometimes you just can't, it could be the milk, it could be you've put too much air in or whatever, but I always still get them saying this tastes nice. It's just I'm now trying to teach myself how to do the patterns, which is a hit or a miss. I can do a heart most of the time. Sometimes it turns into a blob, but it depends how much air you've put into it, because it'll be too foamy otherwise and you can't get the pattern. But I can do some good ones. I love making a good coffee.
I love how
it's so fun.
Passionate you are about it. I mean,
I love it.
Yeah, I think it's quite cool, because obviously I love coffee, and I've literally always loved coffee. But sometimes I'll make myself coffee, and I don't even know how I've messed it up. But because in my head I always make it exactly the same way. But do you ever get that, Drew? And it's just a bit too strong or a bit too weak, and you're just a bit oh. Do you know what I mean?
And also I noticed, because I always use this that little mocha pot thing, which is where you put the water in the bottom, then the coffee, and then the steam comes up through. So they're always quite strong, but sometimes the different coffee that you put in there and the different way it's ground, if it's too fine or too not ground fine enough, then that just really affects it as well. So sometimes I always just put 3 scoops in, but like you say, sometimes it's oh yeah, that's banging, or sometimes it's a bit nah, that was a bit too strong.
I love making coffees.
And then sometimes it's it's not strong at all.
Did you make that, Emma?
Yeah, I made
everyone.
I made this coffee.
That's a good
Imogen
one.
showing us a little love heart
I did
coffee
make one with a willy on though, so
fair enough. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all right.
But I love
Gotta
making
be done.
coffees.
What's the love
I'm
heart
I'm
sound
really
bit?
good at love hearts.
Nice.
I've made a flower before, which I don't know how I did that, but it was sick.
That's so cool.
That's
But I've
cool.
also made a labubu once, if you know what a labubu is.
Nope.
Let me try and find that one then.
I do not
quickly.
know the labubu.
I made a labubu
Labubu?
coffee. A labubu. Sorry. just
I
gotta
do
try
not
and
know of the
find it.
labubu.
It was really hard to do because it's not like you can't just like pour it. You have to like almost use the thermometer to like mix the milk and create a pattern, which took a little bit of time, but it was fun to
It's
do.
mad how many coffees there are in it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I'm always an Americano man nowadays. I've almost become like
whiter.
flat white is a
Flat whites are so
flat
fun
white
to
is a
make.
great one. I think if I wasn't an Americano, I'd go for a flat white because it's like
Americanos are so boring to
Smaller,
make.
strong, silky.
yeah, but you get like it's not as much milk as a latte, but it's like it's not as like it's really
And
weird.
they're
Like,
usually made with whole milk as well.
Yeah.
With a flat white generally. So I like that.
when I was really young, I used to get a cappuccino, and I don't know why now because I actually I think cappuccino is like one of the worst now.
That's because it's basically just coffee with a like foamy milk.
It's
so
just too
hardly any
foamy.
milk.
Yeah, it's like half the drink.
If you
is just
ever
foam.
if you ever
Anything I
want
like
a
about-
cappuccino not foamy, just ask for a heavy cappuccino, like a not too foamy cappuccino.
I genuinely just rather have an Americano because I think at the end of the day, the main thing that makes a good quality coffee is obviously the bean, the quality
Yeah.
of the bean, and also who's making it. Like how with the machine, how clean the machine is. And
I
everything.
can't give up the milk. I love a real.
Yeah,
milky
but no,
coffee
I do
still.
have an Americano with milk though.
I mean, if you're having a flat
I
white,
literally
you're
just have-
having
it's
more
just
coffee
cold-
than milk.
I just have cold milk
Yeah.
in an
That was
Americano.
my labubu one. If you can see.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit
It's like a
blurry.
monster.
Oh, I think is that what's
It's
that
like
from?
the little. It's like a kid's toy thing, like a labubu.
Right.
They're like quite creepy.
Right.
But
So
I made that.
So a flat white is like half
So
coffee,
a
half milk.
flat white is a bigger coffee shot it's in a smaller mug. It's got like a more coffee shot and milk. It's basically the same as a latte, but with more coffee. A latte is just a
'Cause
normal
that's it,
coffee
'cause
shot with milk, and then a cappuccino is milk with a bit of coffee.
Right.
And then what's the opposite of a cappuccino? There's like a name for it.
Is it?
A macchiato, I think it's called.
Okay.
And that's
Macchiato,
and that's milk with a little bit of coffee instead of like coffee with a lot of milk.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the opposite.
That's interesting.
Yeah, the only reason I would go for a cappuccino like before when I used to like get like cappuccino was there was a few places where I went in and they would say they would do a double
There's
coffee
more
shot
coffee.
in a cappuccino,
Yeah.
but like a single coffee shot in a latte.
say,
So
yeah.
I'd always get the cappuccino just so it was a bit stronger, but that was
Yeah.
like because I you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that would be the
Thing is
only
as well,
thing
you
that
could always
make
just
me
ask for a
get the
latte
most.
with an extra shot.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
It's like
That
a
would be the
triple shot
perfect
extra
one.
latte.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Triple
I just think nowadays, yeah, I don't know. I'm like a less is more guy. I think that like I just want an Americano with some cold milk. That's what I always ask for. You know. And I always just like really enjoy that. It's like simple, but as I said, if it's like a really good bean and it's made by like a really good barista, do you know what I mean? It's like just that's
We
what I
always
want.
get compliments on our coffee at Blackmore Farm.
Do you
if
know?
that makes
do you know
anyone
what bean
want
you
to.
use?
Wouldn't be
not?
able to tell you, but that all the stuff in the farm, it's like from the farm shop, so we
Right.
sell it. So everything's like proper, like it's quality and it's like
Bougie stuff.
it's like
Bougie bean.
local-ish. It's
Yeah.
like Somerset
Bougie
stuff.
bean.
So they're really nice. But just if
That'd be a
you
good name for a
haven't,
coffee shop, the Bougie Bean.
it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, well, don't it?
If you have Americanos, be careful not to spill it on yourself because I've had that boiling water spilt over my face before and it really hurts.
What?
You remember when I came in? You probably didn't even see it, but like when I came in to like meet you for the first time,
Yeah.
the day before, I had boiling hot water fresh out the machine, spilt all down my face. So I had like a huge, big, like bubbling blister on the side of my face.
Man, I did not notice that.
And it was like all the way down my face.
How did I not notice that?
And I was
Is
like
it
so
scarred
scared. No, it's not scarred. Luckily, I did like all I could to like keep it from
Whoa.
scarring. It was like all down here, like all there.
Did you-
Crazy.
What did you do to try and stop it from scarring? Just put loads of moisturiser
I just
on
put
stuff?
loads. I had like heat, like this like gel to try and stop it.
Oh, okay.
And I'll try and find a picture of it. It was nasty. It really hurt. Somebody accidentally spilt it on me, and I didn't want to make her feel bad, but it really hurt. And for some reason, we'd ran out of burn cream, and they hadn't got more, so I had to like
Right.
call my mum, and I was like trying not to cry because I didn't want to scare her because she was like younger
Sure,
than me.
Sure.
And I was just like, oh my god, I'm in like a lot of pain right now, but I don't want to say it. And I just had to put like a wet towel on it. And then my mum came in with some burn. My mum and dad came in because they were really worried about me when I messaged them. They came in with some burn cream, put that on it, and they were like, oh my God. Oh, they were like really like protective of me. They're like, no, like, because it was like bubbling and it was horrible. Look, me and my friend in work. We were like looking at the degree burns to see what it was. And it was likely either a bad 1st degree or like a mid-2nd degree burn on my face. Right. And I'm so surprised it hasn't scarred.
Wow.
Like I check on it all the time to check like, oh, is there like a bit of a scar now? But there's not. Like, this was it when it was like
oh Jesus!
When it was like healed. That was it when it was healing.
What?
And then when it first happened,
I'm so surprised.
This was the day when I came in for my interview with you.
It's not picking up on the camera as much as.
Place for it to,
yeah.
I don't.
Like,
yeah.
It looks worse.
Horrible.
It looks worse, Surgery, by the way.
But
it's not picking up on the
that
camera.
was it. Like the evening. That was literally the morning I was going to you, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna look so good."
You look really sad in the picture, which makes me sad.
It really hurt. I'd literally accidentally like rubbed half the scab off, so it really hurt.
Right.
This was it, like right after it happened, it didn't look too bad. It was just like a bit red.
Right.
But then the couple days after, it looked so bad and it hurt so much. Like, look at that.
I bet when you were like
that
sleeping,
was horrible.
Did you ever accidentally like roll over and like go on it when you pillow or anything like?
No, luckily I didn't. I'd like stay one side and I keep my head in between the pillows so I couldn't turn around. But it was like when I was putting the burn cream on in the morning, I had put it on and instead of dabbing it, I made the mistake of rubbing it and I pulled all the scab off because it wasn't like a proper scab. Right. It was just the skin trying to heal and not form a blister.
Right off there.
I just peeled it off and I like screamed. It hurt so bad.
That's
and
awful,
I just,
man.
after that, I never like did that again. I just like gently, and you can't even use once you have done that and it hurts, you can't even use like a wet flannel to like try and make it feel better because any touching it just kills. And I was trying to put this cream on it, and I was like, "This really hurts." But then whenever the girl came in and asked if I was okay, I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine," because I didn't want her to feel bad. But now I'm scared of the water machine, and I almost spilt the boiling water over myself again. Like last week, I was filling up a little tub to put in the sink because the water had gone cold. Like the water was coming out cold, so I was filling it up, and it got hooked on the nozzle, and I didn't realise, and I went to like pull it back and walk away, and I almost spilt a whole big tub of that boiling water over myself.
That's horrible.
I'm so glad I didn't.
One of the worst things, like on your skin, is horrible.
Burns,
like
it's such a horrible pain, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly, it was terrible. But I'm surprised you didn't notice. It was like huge on the side of my head.
Bloke, just completely.
Your fringe was hiding it.
I didn't have a fringe. I had my hair like fully pulled back that day.
Did you?
Yeah, because anything touching it was hurting it, so I had to have my hair back, and like it was all the way down the side.
It's a good thing
of
I'm
my
unobservant,
face.
really, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm surprised I don't have even a bit of a scar from it. Like it was bad. It really hurt.
That was such a funny conversation. I remember when you first came in and I first met you. I can't remember like too much about it, but I remember we for some reason ended up talking about World War II.
You had loads of the flags up, like the British flags.
Yeah, because it had been VE Day.
Yeah. And
so
you looked at me and you're like, we're not.
I was like, don't worry, we're not like hyper nationalistic or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Because it must look really funny. Just came in and there was just British flags everywhere, like.
Raise the flag.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was like, don't worry, we're not like EDL or anything like that.
And then we just spoke about random stuff for like 30 minutes. Then you're like, well, I don't want your dad to be waiting too long. Yeah, I'll see you like next Monday. And I was like, okay, great.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
We spoke about Luke a lot as well.
Well, I think that was because that was like our common thing at the time, wasn't it? Because obviously Luke was the one that reached out to me and was like, "Oh mate, I got let's go, Imogen. It's college. She's really good. I suppose you'd like be up for giving her like a trying her out maybe.
Trying her out.
Trying her out at work. Trying her out at work. And I was like. Yeah, sure, man. Sounds because he gave you such a glowing review as well. To be fair to Luke.
Yeah, he told me. He said I gave you a great review. So I was better not prove me wrong. I was like, I won't.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh yeah, all right, yeah. Well, consider he gave you such a like glowing review. I thought, well, if Luke says, because I always remember think about Luke as well. Like he has got like quite high standards of stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought if he thinks really highly of you, then I probably will as well. I remember thinking that,
Was he correct? No.
What do you think, guys? No, definitely.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. No, yeah. Like a glove. That's how you fit in around here, man.
I've got pen all down my hand because I've been writing hello on a piece of post-it note and loads of different, every single pen colour we have.
That's a bit like The Shining, where when he just writes, what was it? Like, what is it? All work and no play make Johnny a sad boy or whatever it is, like over and over again.
Idea. I just
Cool.
need something to do to like be able to like focus for a long time. So if I'm just writing, it's something easy
This
to
is
do.
this is where all your spontaneous art comes from.
Yeah.
Your picture of us guys up on the wall there.
All the Drews next to me.
All
the
the various pictures of Drew we've got around.
the alien comic.
Alien comic,
The
yeah.
Batman logo.
Yeah.
Oh, and the mask on the skull over there that was behind George in the last episode.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that your scolding has healed anyway.
Yeah, thank you.
You're like
I'm glad it
not
has as
just
well.
disfigured for life.
No, I was actually so scared I was just going to have like a horrible scar on my face for life, and I was like getting really upset about it. I was like crying to my mum and dad. I was like, I'm going to have this horrible thing on my face.
Aww.
They were like, no, it's all right. We'll do whatever we can to try and stop it from scarring. They were like, don't let it blister because then it shouldn't scar.
Yeah.
So I managed to like, I don't know how, I just stopped it from blistering. It just got really, really like, you could see that it wanted to blister, but I think where I was coating it in burn cream all the time, like I put, as soon as I saw the burn cream come off, I put more on. And I think because I did that so much and I kept on top of it, it just stopped it from blistering, which is great. But it was like, it was definitely a 2nd degree burn. It was horrible and it was so painful.
Yeah, it's awful.
At least they've got burn cream back at work. As soon after it happened, they bought burn cream again because I don't think they realised they'd ran out. And I was like, do you have burn cream? They were like, yeah, we do here. They looked for it everywhere and they were like, someone must have taken it or it must have ran out without anyone telling us. And she went out and got it the next day. So we've got some burn cream now, but I could have done with it then.
Oh, well, at least you've got some now, eh? At least you've got some now.
But let's not happen again because that was really painful.
Yeah, I just remembered actually, Drew, just to mention it to you, this is just changing the subject massively before we end the show. Yeah, I was reading last night. I've got a really interesting book, and it's all about the history of place names in Britain. And to me, that's like a good time reading a book like that. I know it's like really niche. I expect to a lot of people would be like, that is the most boring book you could ever read. Do you know what I mean? And I was kind of like, I was even kind of laughing to myself when I bought the book because I was thinking, so many people would think this is such a boring book. But I was like getting quite excited. Man. I just thought it was really interesting. Like, I know that you're interested in etymology, aren't you, Drew? And it's a bit like
it's. I was going to say it reminds me of that.
Yeah,
like,
it's
for places.
Yeah, I know, and like I think the UK is such a fascinating country, or
old,
or combination of countries. Yeah. And I like to me, do you know what I mean? I don't know about you, but sometimes I just think like why is Shropshire called Shropshire?
True.
Do you know what I mean? Why is Somerset called Somerset? Do you know what I mean? And and it is very interesting. And I was so the word Shropshire, actually is originally Shropshire used to just be called Shrewsburyshire. But I guess like because it's such a mouthful, like people would be like Shrewsburyshire, and that somehow became like Shropshire.
Hold the door.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, mate, basically exactly the same thing. So a bit like Hodor, Shropshire literally used to be called Shrewsburyshire just because I guess Shrewsbury was like the main settlement.
Yeah.
But it's funny, isn't it? Because like Shrop and Shrewsbury doesn't really sound that similar, but yeah, it comes from Shrewsburyshire, which I thought was quite interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I also thought it was quite interesting as well. And this also made me a little bit sad. You know, we call them counties nowadays. Well, counties is a Norman word, and it came from like something like the old French word like cunts or something like that.
What did you just call me? How dare you?
I think that's CONTE. I think
that's like you. That's like you calling me. You saying I look like a gorilla last week.
No, not a gorilla.
Oh yeah, Drew doesn't know about that.
Like
does
Lucy
he?
the hominid.
Yeah, they were talking about like the ancient like
hominids.
Yeah,
ancient. Yeah.
And then Callum just slowly.
Well, no, it was because
looked at me like that.
It was
and
because
I was like, oh great, thanks.
It was just because George was talking about that ancient hominid that was found called like people have called it Lucy. And
I knew
and
then he was going to look at me
just
as well.
You know when something in your head just like goes and you just can't like you almost just like can't not say it or do it or whatever. He was just like yeah, but just imagine, right? You find this bipedal female ape, and I can't remember what he said, but he was like she can't really talk and she hasn't got complex thought patterns, but do you know what I mean? And he was like, can you imagine that? And then I was just like, and then I just looked at her and was like.
And I was just looking at him, and then I knew Callum was gonna. I was like, just wait, he's gonna do it. And then I slowly see him turn and stare at me and like smile, and I'm like, thanks.
Man, it was so good. I loved your contributions were the best contributions on last week's show.
They were just all to like do with Ice Age and like what?
Yeah,
No
every
way.
now and again we'd be having like a really, really like in-depth conversation about like some like ancient creature or something or something, and then and you'd be like, this reminds me of Ice Age.
And then I just talk about the Ice Age scene. They were talking about the like dinosaur with the big like thingy on his tail and he swings it.
Ankylosaur, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, that's like an Ice Age. There's the dawn of the dinosaurs, and then you
I
like
saw
wax
that
it in the
bit, actually,
tree.
when I was editing.
Yeah.
That's all my contribution was, just like Ice Age this. Oh, I saw it in this movie.
Yeah. So, sorry, going back to what I was saying about like counties. Yeah. So I think probably the French word might have been like contes, but don't get me wrong, it is funny because I think it's spelled like Conte. So it might have been like Conti or yeah, it might have been Comte, but I imagine it's probably Conti. But it was like an old French word, or actually probably would have said more like Conti, wouldn't it? Because it's French, not Scandinavian.
That's
or
what I call you.
Or Old English. Thanks.
I'm joking.
Conti.
I'm joking.
But yeah. So before the Norman conquest and before 1066, I think this is so much better because there's so much more Lord of the Rings. They were just called shires, which I think is so much better, don't you? So you wouldn't have been like, oh, which county?
It's like Herefordshire.
Yeah, Herefordshire or whatever. Yeah. So they used to.
Yeah, because that's got shire on the end, hasn't it?
Yeah, and apparently.
Shropshire.
Yeah, and a lot of places that counties don't have shire on them.
Derbyshire.
Yeah, Derbyshire. Yeah, or Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
I was trying to think of someone. I couldn't think of any.
A thing from the end of that.
Yeah, there are some counties as well
that.
Yeah, there are some counties now that don't have shire on the end that used to have shire on the end. So apparently, like Devon used to be Devonshire, or Devonshire as we'd probably say. But yeah, we just don't really say
I've heard
it.
people refer to it as that as well. Devonshire.
Yeah, I think it's probably one of those things that like you can still say it, but it's just like just not the most common thing.
Quite fizzled out yet.
Yeah, you're probably more like just be like, oh, he's from Devon, or I'm going down Devon.
That's because it's quicker, isn't it? Quicker than saying Devon.
Yeah, I think let's face it, we're creatures of convenience, aren't we? But I thought it was quite interesting. So not only did they used to be called shires, not counties, which I think we should try and bring back.
Let's bring it back.
I remember hearing as well, like another thing which I thought was cooler was before the Norman conquest, we didn't used to call it the winter or summer solstice. Solstice is a Latin word that was brought in by the French because at the end of the day, the French is a Latin language. English, or at least Old English, was not a Latin language. It was what you'd call a Germanic language. And we used to call them sunsteads. So it would be winter sunstead and summer sunstead. And I thought that sounds, I don't know, I like that more. So I need to try
Sounds
and...
like sunset, but with list.
Sunstead. Like Sunstead. Sunstead. Winter and summer sunstead, which I thought was cool. And the first shires were brought about purely for ease of governance. So apparently, by I know you know all about this, Drew, because you've watched Vikings and Last Kingdom. So you know that, like, say in the period that you have over the course of the Vikings TV show. While obviously I'm not saying that you should watch Vikings as like an accurate depiction of history, some things are pretty accurate. And one thing that is very accurate how they depict in Vikings is the way they show sort of how Wessex and Mercia and Northumbria, etc., sort of evolved as time went on. So what you had sort of, say a couple of 100 years before the events of the Vikings TV show, say like around 700 AD, you would have had lots and lots of little separate kingdoms. You would have had like Kent, East Anglia, Mercia, Northumbria, Wessex. And then what happened is as time went on, sort of like some of the kingdoms became sort of like taken over by other kingdoms, and there were less. And by the time of Vikings, I think there were just three major ones left, maybe four. The three biggest ones, if not only ones, were Wessex, Mercia, and Northumbria. And as time went on, Wessex went from being maybe even the weakest one to being the strongest one. And this is what you kind of see that a little bit in the events of Vikings. And I said that's fairly accurate the way they portray it. So, like how King Egbert is like this super ambitious guy, and he basically ends up almost like just taking over slowly more and more and more of England. But yeah, in Wessex, they quite very cleverly realise that it's much easier to govern an area if you break it down into districts and then let those districts be ruled by other people as long as they swear allegiance to you. Yeah, so as long as they swear allegiance to you, it's fine. So as long as like you meet up every now and again, and they're swearing fealty to you, and they are like you're their king, and do you know what I mean? Then they're happy with that because they're basically the lords of the land. They're getting all of this. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's where the lords come from. I forgot about that. I learned about all that.
Well,
in
it's funny because you think
history.
you associate the word sheriff nowadays, I think, more with the Wild West, but it was actually an Anglo-Saxon word. They came up with the word sheriff.
Sheriff of Locksley.
Yeah, the sheriff of Nottingham. Yeah. So every shire would have had a sheriff. And if you were the sheriff, you were kind of the top dog of that shire. So Wessex, so some of the first ever shires as well, some of the first ever counties, which I thought was really cool, were Somerset, Wiltshire, Dorset, and I think Hampshire. They were like the earliest shires, and they all would have been in Wessex, and they would have all been sort of governed by a sheriff that then would have reported to the king, whoever the king of Wessex was at that time. But I thought that was a really interesting fact, really cool. And bless you, man. And basically, even like after. Obviously, England became unified, and when England was unified, under King Alfred, hundreds of years after this, more in the events of obviously, say, the Last Kingdom television program, by that point, England was essentially, even though you had the Danelaw, which would have been, so England would have obviously been more Viking in the north, east, and just north in general of England, they basically kind of like adopted a similar style of governance. So that's when you saw like the shires taking place, or like the counties as we see them more today taking place. But then the Normans came in and they took over. And even though they took over, they started almost like overseeing, like obviously the governance of the UK. And they realised that actually there wasn't really much for them to change because it was like a really well governed place. Because the Anglo-Saxons were actually really freaking competent and really good essentially at what they did. So they just basically improved upon things a little bit, and then just changed some of the words because obviously they weren't going to change their language to you know what I mean, they were the conquerors. So they changed it from shire to county, and they brought in French noblemen, essentially, Norman noblemen, to oversee the sheriffs. So I think you still had sheriffs, but then they would have had to have reported to...
They had to answer to the...
Yeah, they would... So, like, before, say, the Norman contest, we didn't have, like, such a thing as, like, a duke in this country. We wouldn't have had, like, a duke, and then... or like, a bishop. Oh, no, actually, you might have had a bishop. Anyway, so then the sheriffs might have had to have reported to the dukes, and then the duke would have reported to the whoever the king was, whether that was William the Conqueror or whoever came after him. But I thought that was quite interesting anyway.
I should bring in all my history books from my GCSEs and see how much of it you know, because I would have learnt like all of like that stuff and like other stuff about, because I did one of my topics was 1066 and like the whole of like 1066 and like however many years afterwards.
So interesting.
So like the conquering of like the Normans, how that all came about. So I want to see how much of that you know, and then like I have like the making of America, so all of like the making of America, and see how much of that you know. And then I've got World War II as well, and I've got like then I've got just stuff about like Britain. So like I've got Cold Harbour Mill, if you know where that is. No. It's like the first cotton mill in England, and all these different things. It would be cool to see if you guys like how much of it you know, and like how much of it I did in like school, and like the difference and all that. That'd be cool.
Well, that would be cool. You know when Normandy invaded and like,
the Normans
all that you just described. Yeah, like what was the next big one after that? Did like we get independence back again after?
So basically, what kind of happened is, so the first sort of couple of 100 years after the Battle of Hastings, when the Normans like invaded, you saw very much like a difference in social class between the Normans and the I guess what you would call the indigenous people, although even that
the Anglo-Saxons.
Yeah, the Anglo-Saxons essentially. But the Anglo-Saxons would to an extent would have been subjugated. A lot of Norman rulers would have been brought in to sort of like oversee. So like there was no sort of top dogs in the country that were Anglo-Saxon as far as I'm aware.
Mott and Bailey's became the main.
Yeah, and the Normans built lots of like massive castles in England and Wales to like make sure as like status symbols, and also to like sort of intimidate all the Anglo-Saxon people. And there would have been almost like a thing, where like the Normans would have looked down a little bit on the Anglo-Saxons.
Fear was like a huge factor to keep them in line.
That's kind of the story of Robin Hood. So Robin Hood was supposed to be like an Anglo-Saxon man, and he's essentially like sticking it to the Norman overlords. You know, like this.
Mate, have you seen this like film that's going to come out soon?
Mate, it
with
looks.
Hugh Jackman. The
Mate,
Death of
have you
Robin
seen the
Hood.
trailer?
Looks
Yeah.
sick.
Mate, it looks
epic.
amazing,
I watched
doesn't
it
it?
last night. I was just looking at loads of trailers last night and writing down films I'm going to watch. And I thought that looked.
Mate,
it looks sick.
It looks so good. It looks so good. Yeah, man, I really want to
Have
see
you guys
that.
watched the new 28 Years Later yet?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got
we've
to tell
have a
you
chat about
actually
that.
because you said
Yeah.
about how good it was.
I was supposed to ask you Monday, but I forgot.
Bone Temple.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Really
We've
enjoyed
got to
it.
have a chat about that later.
Yeah, we will, but we don't want to spoil
No,
it. but
no spoilers.
So it was Normandy, and then it's almost there wasn't another massive like takeover.
No,
then
so what happened was, so you had
that's just our history.
Yeah, so you had
So
you had 1066, and then I think it's around the 1200s you start getting, if the legends are true, around 1200s you get the legend of Robin Hood. So back in that time, which is around the reign of King Richard the Lionheart, he
What a guy.
Robin Hood was supposed to be an Anglo-Saxon man. He was born a serf. That's essentially it was almost like a derogatory term for like an Anglo-Saxon sort of like lower class person. But he was like this amazing archer, and he had his his band of outlaws. They were dubbed outlaws, but they would essentially like steal from these like rich overlord Normans, and then they would just try and redistribute the wealth amongst like the Saxon people in like a very clever way that was hard to track, so that nobody could really get persecuted for it. So that's kind of the story of Robin Hood. But what you see by the time of sort of like the 1400s, so jumping forward a couple hundred more years later, is what were the Norman overlords had just completely assimilated into the English way of life. So they obviously, by that point, they didn't see themselves as Normans in England. They saw themselves as English. And obviously, by that point as well, I guess there would have been a lot of mixed, a lot of breeding within the Anglo-Saxon community as well, because there would have been lots of like Normans that would have like seen beautiful Anglo-Saxon women and naturally wanted to marry them and stuff like that, and blah, blah, blah.
But did France actually claim ownership of England? Because
they
of the
did for a
Normans?
while, but then what you obviously had happen is obviously there's always been land disputes throughout history, and I can't remember if William the Conqueror was king of all of France or if he was only like ruler of Normandy and king of England.
He was ruler of Normandy and king of England, because Normandy was almost separate to France.
Yeah, it was like its own little.
So it was his own little thing.
Yeah.
So he
To
was
be
that,
fair, if there
but
was
he was in
anywhere
links with
I'd like
France.
to be owned by, it would be Normandy.
Yeah,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
William was like friends with like the owner of like the conqueror, like the king of France. Though, so it was almost like they were all connected.
But what you saw afterwards, so there was big land disputes and wars for hundreds of years afterwards, because what would happen is like, say, whoever the king of England was at the time would then try and claim like ownership of France as well, and then whoever the ruler of France was would be like no, and then they'd go to war. So what you have massive battles like Agincourt, which I believe happened in the 1400s. I can't tell you the exact date, 14 or 1500s. I'm pretty sure it was the 1400s. If you look at Agincourt, which is spelled Agin, and then court, but all one word, Agincourt. And that was a massive English victory where basically all these 1415, there you go, and all these like French cavalry came over, and it was like a massive invasion of the French, and they essentially tried to do kind of what they did again in like 1066, but the English had this massive victory, and it was pretty much quite famously all down to English longbowmen. So, you have these classic like stories of English longbowmen.
Ash bows.
Yes, and they were like very long bows as well, like 6-7 foot long bows, and and the English were just amazing archers.
They had more pulling power than any other bow, didn't they? So they could go further.
That's it. And the French people at that time had mainly switched to using crossbows, and crossbow bolts were very, very strong, but they took longer to reload. In the time it took to get off like one crossbow bolt, a good longbow archer could fire like 4 or 5 shots. So it was kind of like a numbers thing. And also, even though crossbow bolts were very, very powerful, and they were kind of almost like the shotgun of the day, I guess. Like at short range, they were devastating. But from a long distance...
they wouldn't have as long a range as a longbow, would they?
I don't think they did. But I mean, as far as I'm aware, but a good longbowman could just, if you just had hundreds, if not thousands of longbowmen in a line, do you know what I mean? All just firing up to the sky. They would just be like raining down arrows on this cavalry. So
we should do like a big like just history pod.
That'd be great.
I'd have to bring in my books though, so I have like my memory. Otherwise, I just forget stuff.
Yeah, let's do it. I'd love that. But yeah, so around that, so I think the King of England at the time of Agincourt, I think was King Henry V. I think that's right, and he was like he very much saw himself as English.
Sounds right to me.
Yeah, he very much saw himself as English, and by that point, the language has kind of merged. So we don't obviously our language is different to how the Anglo-Saxons spoke, and there are a lot of Norman influences in our words, whether it's like county or parliament. Or, there's lots of words we use which have their origins in Norman rather than English. But also, we still have loads and loads, if not predominantly, our language is still like the evolved version of Anglo-Saxon. So, we're kind of like mongrels at this point. But one thing that really sort of like, just to sort of like make everyone think though, it is more complicated than just like they were French, we were English. Because you've got to bear in mind that for a start, the people that would have been living in Anglo-Saxon England just before the Battle of Hastings were already kind of mongrels anyway, because you had hundreds of years of Vikings incursions. You had the Danelaw, so there were literally like all these Viking settlements of people from Denmark and Norway. So there was already a massive mix of Norwegian and Danish blood mixed with Anglo-Saxon blood, which in itself was kind of like a mixture of like Danish, Dutch, German from Saxony, and then mixed in with the population that were there pre-Roman times, which would have been the ancient Brythonic people and sort of Celtic and Gaelic people. So essentially people, that would have lived in Britain, before the Angles or the Saxons or the Vikings ever came. So already you had this like massive sort of mixing pot of, yeah, and then obviously Bathsheba, and then
what's that lady? Who was she called?
Oh, Boudica.
Boudica, that's it. Sorry.
Yeah, Queen Boudica. She was queen of the Iceni tribe in England.
When the Romans first came over,
and she went to war with Rome and actually did a very good job, to be fair to her. But yeah, so and then obviously you have all the Roman influence. So you have like I don't know how much the Roman blood is mixed in with people nowadays, but I do know that quite a lot of people in the UK will have it might come up in their DNA if they get tested like Iberian Peninsula. And although the Iberian Peninsula isn't modern-day Italy, you do have to bear in mind the Iberian Peninsula would have been part of the Roman Empire at the time. And you would have had, say, look at Gladiator, right? So Gladiator, the main character is Maximus Decimus Meridius. He's not an Italian. He's Spanish. He's a Spaniard. I think they even refer to him as the Spaniard in the movie. Because Spain would have been part of the Roman Empire, and Spain is part of the Iberian Peninsula. The Iberian Peninsula is essentially like Spain and Portugal. So one of the reasons Yeah, go on.
I've got Basque.
Yeah, Spanish. Well, kind of.
Yeah, Western Pyrenees, spanning northern Spain and southwestern France. So I thought that was a bit
mate.
random,
So that could be maybe a little bit of Roman.
You are Roman,
and it's interesting with me as well, or at least with my dad. So obviously it will be passed on to me as well. But so my old man's DNA was like predominantly either northwestern Europe. Irish, Scottish, and English, but then randomly was like 1.6% Iberian Peninsula. So yeah, again, like how is that maybe because
followed by Romans?
And also, you look very much like you could be. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? There's definitely a bit of Roman in you.
Thank you.
You could easily get like if you were like an actress, you could easily get a part in like some sort of like Roman.
Yeah, but is that just because I got my hair crimped today? So
no, it's because you've got olive skin, like brown eyes, like you look like an Italian. You look like more Italian than you do look frickin' English.
Thank you. Oh, that's a compliment. I'll take that.
Do you know what I mean? Like you do though, don't you? Do you know what I mean? Like she does, doesn't she? But
I love that.
Yeah.
I would love to be like Roman,
you'd love to be Italian, yeah?
Like flipping
just eating gelato
Spanish.
all day.
Yeah, it'd be great. The tan. Yeah. Oh yes, please.
Yeah.
Gerald Butler's wife in 300.
Yeah.
I could so be like led down like feed me grapes.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Yeah, just living the life.
Yeah. With my lions.
Like Spartacus.
Yeah, and this big, huge, like Colosseum looking, like flipping cool Roman house.
Yeah, like nice villa or
it'd be
something.
Great. With like the people stood there with their fruit bowls, like.
Down, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
It'd be great.
Yeah, and another thing just to add, just to sort of finish off, because I know I just said about how it is complicated because it's not like we were just sort of, when you talk about the English people as we were before the Norman invasion, and we were already this melting pot of what would have been like ancient Brythonic, Gaelic, Anglo-Saxon, and Viking essentially. You have to also bear in mind that what we think of as the Normans were the descendants of Rollo. So Rollo was a real Viking man, and obviously he ended up being
it's the coolest part to be.
Yeah, so he was like he became the
going
Duke
past.
of Normandy, and he was married to a Frankish woman. So the people of France at the time it was called Francia. It wasn't called France at the time; it was called Francia. And he was married. I can't remember if he was married to a Frankish princess, or if not, but she was like, either way, even if she wasn't a princess, she was like this high up like French noblewoman.
She was a princess.
I think she was a princess, yeah. And so he was like the Duke of Normandy, and Rollo became the Duke of Normandy. And one of the reasons was because the Frankish people were so fed up of the Vikings invading the northern coastlines, like coming down in their ships.
He had to protect them, didn't he?
Yeah, he was basically like, if I give you this land, will you stop basically like your friends from just like invading? And he was like, yeah, okay, I'll do that, but you got to give me all this amazing stuff. So they basically worked out a deal.
Sounds like a good deal for me.
So he was like, okay, I get your daughter.
And it was all of Rollo's followers. Like there was a load of Vikings that went over with Rollo as well, weren't there?
Yeah,
like, it wasn't just like Rollo on his own.
So he was basically like, I get to marry a daughter.
It's when he says that.
I become the Duke of Normandy.
Like 3.
Yeah,
that'd be a bit creepy. I get to marry your daughter.
You know the Vikings that were like invading, because like Rollo wouldn't like they would have been his people. Do you reckon he might have give like some of them a choice to rather than invade, just join me?
Do you know what? Like, yeah. Do you know what I quite like the idea of, mate? Because obviously the world was a lot of a bigger place in those days, and you imagine how hard it would be to contact people without like social media and telephones and everything like that. What I like the idea of is like, say I hadn't seen you for a year, and you just kind of disappeared. And I was like, oh yeah, just every now and again I just thought about you, and I was like, oh, God knows what Drew's up to. And then one day I was like, I'm just gonna go like invading like the north coast of France. And then I got there, and it started off as normal. I was like, with all my mates, and then suddenly I said, you go like, Callum, come. And then I was like, what? And then I was like, you were like, this is my place now. And I went, oh, sorry, man. Sorry. Oh, guys. Sorry, mate. Didn't know. I didn't get your Raven about it, mate. I'm really behind on my Raven letters. Oh, they've just all been piling up, mate. I'm barely ever home, to be honest. So I haven't really
keep getting killed.
Sorry about that, man. Sorry about that. I'll give you like some sheep or something to make up for it.
This French wine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
Have my daughter in like return. There you are. Sorry.
I like the idea that something like that would have happened. Do you know what I mean? You know?
Yeah.
That's like quite comical in my mind. You know,
be like, I'll give you some real good standing in my new colony here.
Imagine how almost like comical that would be as well, because you know how in like Vikings they portray it, how they portray it, how when they first see Rollo after like a couple of years and his like hair's looking like quite glamorous and he's wearing like silk and stuff, and they're a bit like, all right, Rollo, you look a bit weird.
This guy?
I love the idea that I'd like come across you and your hair was suddenly like, it was like shoulder length, but like you like straightened your hair. It was all like straightened and that, and you had like a little bit of a fringe, and you were just
he's got like layers in his hair.
And all
he's
these
looking
like
great.
These like really nice like jewel necklace and stuff, and you were like just wearing all this like satin like fabrics and stuff, and you were just like, hey man, and I was like, all right, this is all right, mate. How's it going? That would be so comical, wouldn't it? But so I mean, the people from Normandy, they were like about half freaking Viking anyway. So essentially, what you've got at the Battle of Hastings, and if you want to widen it to the Battle of Stamford Bridge as well, because the Battle of Stamford Bridge is the one that happened just before the Battle of Hastings from the Harold Hardrada.
Fulford, Stamford,
so you've basically got
Hastings.
You've kind of got like Vikings invading from Stamford Bridge, but the people that were in England at the time anyway were sort of like Anglo-Saxon Viking mixes, Anglo-Saxon Viking Gaelic Brythonic mixes. But then the people invading from William the Conqueror's people were also kind of like Frankish Viking mixes. So it's kind of like, it's like there's Viking in everything. Do you know what I mean? But it's just like, but it's just variation.
Thank God for that.
So after Viking, thank God for that. So after Hastings, what you're happening is basically you're just adding Frankish to the melting pot of what was already a massive melting pot. So that's
which is a bit of everything.
Yeah. So yeah, man.
I like.
Go on.
I was like back to like the words in places and that, like a lot of places were named after just what they were, like say Normandy, Northmandy.
Yeah, Northman land, I think. Yeah.
Northmandy.
Northmandy.
Hey, it's somebody called Mandy that's from the north. Hey, Northmandy.
I looked up the Ludlow one
Yeah.
because just like because
Ludders.
so yeah, definitely
Why
interested
not?
in this kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
and I remember I looked it up before, but I forgot, so I looked it up again, and it's from the Old English. So lud is like hlud, which is the Old English for loud, and then and hlow, like HLAW, was like low, is hill or mound.
Loud
or tumulus.
hill.
So it's like loud river. Because it's like up at the Whitcliffe, what looks over Ludlow, it's just like a big hill with a big roaring river at the bottom of it. So it was like Loud River, Lludlow, and then like Lludlow is now Ludlow.
Yeah. Oh,
So
mate, it's so
that's
interesting,
pretty
isn't
cool
it?
as well.
So interesting,
Yeah.
isn't it? So cool. So
yeah,
cool.
I love that kind of stuff.
Well, I think we'll leave it there, people. That was like a really funny pod because I feel like we ended off randomly. The last half an hour was like super educational on
Babies before
on like history and etymology and like really in-depth UK history. But then the first like almost hour and a half was us talking about like babies.
We
and
spoke a lot
coffees.
about food as well. Like a lot of
Yeah.
food.
Food babies.
It's so funny, like what
Food babies.
what like a funny
coffee
part, and then just
history.
ended it off on like this super like in-depth like history facts. Like, oh man, hilarious. That's so that's so PB though, isn't it? That's so PB. Right, everyone, thanks very much for joining us for another PB. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I want to say just a quick thank you again to George Wakeman from Extinct Animal Facts for coming on last week. Awesome guy, really, really interesting conversation. If you haven't already, go check out that chat. And just want to say a big thank you to everybody that ever tunes into Pandora's Box or who has ever been on as a guest. We appreciate you. We love you. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Cheerio.
Bye.
Cheery bye.
Cheery bye 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 bye.
Cheery bye bye bye.